Okay, we should be live. I'll just switch screens in a second. I just sort of want to see things out. Got a bit of a weird thing happening earlier, but I believe I've sorted it. So we'll see what happens. Cool. So how's everybody this evening? As I promised, Minecraft Transformers in the last Venomized, I believe it was Garchomp when we Venomized Garchomp live. The next video or live stream would be Salamence. So that's what we're doing today, Salamence Venomized. I'll do a couple of shout outs. So we've got hello to Tegan. We've got to Matthew, obviously Minecraft Transformers. We've also got Noxy and Deku Kyoto. Nice. So we're not going to hang around on this one. Oh, and Omen Heart. Hi, Omen Heart. I put the comments back up, and I try to do them every now and again during the stream. But yeah, we're going to get on with doing Salamence with a symbiote on it. So I'm going to start how I normally do with just the basic pose. Start drawing out some ideas for Pokemon. Just literally, I kind of want to do it similar to the Charizard I did Venomized, where it's kind of quite detailed to a degree. So I'm going to want to take what we've got and basically just add a bit more detail after I've got the base form in. So what I find, or those of you who normally do catch the streams, what I tend to do is find a good reference image, um, draw the basic pose for it. So I've got the Pokemon roughly sketched out, and then put the symbiote on top. It lets me see to proportions and to roughly adjust where I want certain things to go. I've kind of picked a classic reference where it's just like a normal powerful pose, but once the head's done, I might tweak the angle of it slightly. And it'll probably all look a bit more menacing by the time I've finished it, a bit more attitude in its kind of design. Hey Justin, how's it going? Noxy, that's a question between you and Minecraft Transformers. Are you weird for not liking Salamence? I don't know. It's not my favorite Pokemon. Mine's Lucario, as I've said before, but it's a cool design. Definitely a very cool design. Oh, tomorrow Pokemon Direct's coming out, or the Pokemon Direct thing. Cool. I'll have to try and catch that. Um, I do think the eyes. Right. I know what's bugging me. This seems way too large, even for what I've done here. But also, this needs to come a bit closer. It's going to be super interesting to see how this actually turns out. It has got a really weird design as such, so kind of going to be a Salamence in my style, based off the original kind of sketch design. I think that needs to be a bit wider. That's the bigger issue. Justin, you'll be on vacation Thursday. Nice. Are you going anywhere nice for your vacation? Well, it looks like Noxy and Minecraft both like a Pokemon called Sal. Oh, that'd be quite a cool crossover, wouldn't it? Pokemon called Sal. You better call Sal. Ah, that's not exactly a vacation there, Justin. Sorry to hear that, but it's still kind of cool you're going to Florida. That'll be quite good. But yeah, sorry to hear about the circumstances there. I feel I've kind of got a Gen 1 image here for Salance's crazy design on its head, but I also feel that this needs to go out more. Right, this mouth needs. It's really weird how they design some of these because I'd say I'm doing the basic uh, Salamence design, as it were, but I'm also conscious that I will need to venomize this. So once I've got the basic shape down, I will be adding a proper symbiote design. So I didn't know if I wanted the head to be more. Do we do it that way, or do we change the pose? I've got a couple references. I'm just wondering if I change the pose slightly. Do we do that one, or do we want the head to be more the downward version with the eyes kind of like this, and then we've got the mouth down here. Minecraft, which one do you like better? The first one or the second one for the pose of the head? I mean, we're doing your Pokemon, so do you like, or better yet, the whole chat, do you like one or two? Maybe I give them two heads, make it a double-headed Salamence. Noxie, possibly. We'll see what happens. I promised this one, but I don't very often promise them. But yeah, Omhart says, so I submitted my Fakemon a couple of days earlier. I don't know if you saw it, but what did you think? Um, your Fakemon. Let me think. I'm sure I've seen it. I have seen it. I'm sure I have. Haven't had a look at them. I've just saved the images off into a folder for scanning later with the name and the bit for it. I think if I remember rightly, it's quite a cool design. Um, just trying to think because I think you emailed it in, didn't you? Uh, Minecraft says one left. Oh yes, because you've been a member for 4 months and we've got one more icon left to go on the stuff. We need more members so we can add that a little bit higher maybe. But yeah, congrats on being a member for 4 months. Damn. Better make Minecraft. Which one? One or two? Which one do you fancy the look of a bit more? Because it's your Pokemon we're doing, so I'm going to let you have the choice. And Koi has been a member for 4 months. One. Okay, that's cool. We'll take it back to the first one then. And Koi, congrats for also being a member for 4 months. And well, flexing the emojis, as Noctis said. I assume you're going to be doing your usual lurking in the stream. Okay, so stick with this one then. Um, Justin says too. I will probably do another one with yeah, that's actually a bit weird. I'll have to use that one to bring stuff up. Um, so I was using a mouse, but it seems to be jumping it across more than one bit on the window every now and again. I'm not sure what's going on. Koi, you gifted a membership. Justin, congratulations on getting the membership. Just bring those up now. So we've got Koi Fish Gaming. Thank you again for doing a membership. And Justin, congratulations on getting the membership. If I can actually show that, can I show it with the? I can't show that notification, but it should have popped up on screen, probably over me. I'll have to watch this back. But Justin, enjoy the emojis and thank you. Well, welcome back once again. DempseyJ Gaming says, long time no see, can't wait for this drawing. I bet it's going to be awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, let's continue with this. So we've got the long, because that kind of comes back and doubles in on itself a bit. And there, and then you've got the neck. So he's got a really weird neck and body shape, hasn't he? It's really, I can't describe it. It's like, here's the neck, here's the head, right here, and then here's the body. It's pretty much that shape. It's a bit of a weird one. And as a member, Justin, you'll be able to see the behind the scenes message from earlier on. That's why you don't like Salamence, the weird body. Nice. Koi Gaming is stealing my thunder. Um, does he enjoy eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? I don't know on that one. I will have to think about that. I haven't actually really thought about what food the narrators would eat, which is really bad of me, really. To be honest, that's really bad. I've come up with designs for the narrators, and I haven't even thought about, yeah, they eat this, this, and this. I mean, I've come up with a few things of what they like and what they don't like. Um, I've also decided to, in one of the upcoming videos, I've kind of decided to make it so that we learn a bit more about one of the other Pokemon. Pokemon? Oh, I'm drawing Pokemon. I'm talking about Pokemon when I'm talking about a narrator. One of the narrators, we're going to learn a bit more about them in one of the upcoming videos this month, which should be really cool. Hey Ben, how's it going? Yeah, Dino loves Monster Energy drink as long as it's got like a Jurassic Park set of claws on the front. That'd be quite cool. Um, Sneaky, sneaky information. I like that. Yes, it's behind the scenes. Um, just plans for the channel over the next few months or so, which will be quite cool. Justin, I'm like that one episode of Danny Phantom where Flad spies on the Fentons illegally for no reason. Good. Is that a Sephiroth? Sorry, is that a Spinomorph behind you? Ah, that'd be quite cool. I I have been thinking. Oh, well, I'm toying with an idea of introducing another character into the storylines for everything, really. Um, as if I don't have enough characters already. Of course, saw the well, you all should have seen the video track. As long as I get them all together, it's an epic video. Um, but yeah, no, it's I am working on another another character to drop in. Ones that I've been probably mentioning for a while or thinking about, but they might be able to tie into other genres. Um, okay, so that comes to there. Let's rejig this a bit. So that comes there and that comes to there. I know this isn't as pretty as a lot of other people draw on streams, but once I've got this basic form now, we can have some fun with the overall design. I think that needs to be. When I ink this, I am adding extra details in mind. I want this to look epic, so we're gonna have fun. Um, Evan Hart says, I'm going to say it right now. When reading about my Fakemon, be prepared. It's a bit of a coward and doesn't like confrontation. It also likes, also because it's a lot of information. Ah, I have seen that. I haven't read the information, but you put a massive amount of lore behind it, the most so far about any submission. So I've made a note to take my time reading it because I've got a feeling, like with most of your lore, there'll be something I can put into what we're doing on the redraw. So that's quite cool. Galham 19, you didn't miss much, just the rough sketch and a bit of talking about channel and stuff, really. Doesn't really anything major to. I mean, this is the basic pose for the Pokemon, which is fine. Weird epic wings, which is just. I'm extenuating some bits of this though, because some of these will turn out to be. They will turn out to be tweaked once we add the symbiote to it. but I just wanted to add a few bits here, and the tail comes around here. This is the initial sketch. Now, that's a standard Salamence pose, which isn't too bad. I'm just wondering if we should have the tail come out, kind of come across the front. Would it like better with the tail coming across the front, maybe? Instead of being behind it. So, I'm sure it'll look outstanding when you're finished. I appreciate the vote of confidence there. Whether it does or not, it's a different matter. Um, so I'll see what happens there. Oh, hey, could you use anti-venom with this design? Wait, is that symbiote called anti-venom or riot? Anti-venom's a completely separate one. Um, so I'm not really sure. I haven't decided what symbiote we're going to be using on this one. Ben says, Dempsey, maybe for the symbiote form, maybe turn the wings into sort of saw blade things. Possibly. We'll see what happens on that one. But yeah, so we've got an initial Pokemon structure in place. So now we're gonna tell you what, I'm gonna do something I've done in some of the videos. I'm gonna drop a. I've been working on what layers we're gonna use as well. So I'm gonna drop a blue color over the top. I'm gonna clipping mask it, merge it down, duplicate it twice, merge it down, just take that down just a tad, and then we're gonna use a different color over the top for the symbiote stuff. Probably the same colors we were kind of using for it. So now we can start working on symbiote elements. Um, Dempsey, do you think Venom could solo the Black Cloververse? Possibly. I don't think would win. Not unless it depends. It'd be quite interesting. He'd give him hell, but I'm not sure he'd solo it. What do you think of the design of my Fakemon? Omen Heart, I haven't got them open at the moment, so I'll have to check them out later on. I quite liked it if I'm remembering the right one, but I'll have to check it out a bit later because I haven't got the emails open on the computer at the moment. Um, oh, hi Eddie. Koi sent you. Well, since you've been sent by Koi, I'll put you on the screen. So welcome to the stream. Kind 19 says, "Hey, now that you've introduced your steampunk character, will there be a steampunk community redraw in the near future?" There are plans for a steampunk redraw, however, I'm not sure exactly when that's going to drop. Um, and Ben, I was realizing this the other day as well. It has been ages since a dinosaur episode. Uh, so me turn SCPs into dinosaurs or backroom entities into dinosaurs, maybe. I've got a few potential ideas that we could do for stuff like that, which would be quite cool. Um, W's and Black Clover do feel like Venom symbiotes, though. Yes, they do. Hey, Maureen, how you doing? Not much. I've just done the initial sketch. I'm just about to start working on rough planning out of where the symbiote's going to go. Um, over the top before we start the inking stage, just because I want this looking cool, so I want to keep part of the symbiote designs and stuff, which would be quite cool. But yeah. What was I going to say? Uh, Tegan, if you've got a question, feel free to just write the question. You don't have to ask, but fire away. Noxy, here's a quack on. Here it's QuakeCon week. Oh, that's quite cool, Noxy. Galahad19 says, I like how you made your last redraw two-parter. Will this be a regular trend from now on, or is this a one-time thing? That's not been decided yet. I guess it'll depend on if it's a special redraw, like community redraw, like an anniversary, or if everyone's got such a good design, and I'm stacked against it, if I split that into two. At the moment, there's no plans to go forwards with two-parter redraws because at the moment that will push a lot of the other content back quite a fair bit on that one. But it is something I'm open to in terms of potentially having if needed in future. I just don't know if it's going to be a regular thing yet. It's that Black War Grain one behind me. I hope not. Hell of Boss is dinosaurs quite cool. Yami is technically a Yu-Gi-Oh reference when you think about it deeply. Yes, especially when he's got like you got Dark Yami and he's got like the ability to pretty much traverse dimensions with his thing. He can like split space. So quite an interesting one. That's quite a cool point of reference there, Justin. How do you draw a sitting dragon? Do a search reference of sitting pets line art and find a dog or a cat sat down. And it's cheeky. The whole body shape with the front paws and the back hind legs from the neck down is exactly the body shape of a dragon if you add a belly with scales on it. It sounds really daft. I'll show you. So if you think when they're sitting down, this is a straight on basic view, but basically when they're sitting down, they've basically just got this shape to them, depending on how long the arms at the front are. Think a toothless sat down, and you just add a tail, add some wings, and just add your derpy dragon face. Yeah, derpy dragon. He sat down. That's the simplest way to do it is to look at something like that, or just search dragon sitting poses, pose reference on Pinterest and have a look at something that you can use as a reference. But effectively, that's how I would do it. Is if you want the simple version to get your idea around it, is to do that going forward. It's quite cool. Um, Ironheart just realised Popcross's Biomex is similar to symbiotes. Yes, and that's similar to the Superior Iron Man, which has a symbiote version of an Iron Man suit. Tony Stark makes an artificial symbiote, but he's more of a he's more of an evil person in that one. Uh, yes, koi fish is right. If you can, guys, I don't know what we've got at the moment, but uh, please drop a like if you're enjoying the stream or if you like Pokemon. And don't forget, if you want to, let me know which is your favorite Pokemon in the chat. I know some of you have done it before, but just drop it in there. It'd be quite cool. Uh, Galahad90 says, if you do a steampunk creature redraw, will you be asking for superhero submissions or what exactly? I'm not doing any spoilers on that one. As I say, it's not fully planned out. There will be one dropping, but it's not 100% planned out at the moment on some of the future redraws. I've only got maybe one or two future redraws planned in terms of the theme. The rest of them are just a list of ideas that will eventually become more fleshed out as we go along. I've started to spend more time on the scripting, so that's the bit that takes the longest for me, and I need to get the scripting right in order to be able to make the videos work really. So I've started writing a video that's coming out this month, and Koi Fish has seen this. He can vouch for it. The script for the first illustration is way longer than what I've done in, I think, most of my videos combined. So it's going to be quite interesting. Um, Marin says, I didn't tell you how to do your job last live stream. Oh, don't worry about that, Marin. I mean, if you jumped into Popcross's one yesterday and I was telling you what colours to use, so we all do it. No, that was quite that was quite fun last stream. It's not a problem at all. Let's see. You have like 11 likes and mine is Snorlax. Thank you, Eddie. And Snorlax is quite a cool Pokemon. Maybe I should venomize a Snorlax in a future video episode. I do have a venomized Pokemon series that I'm going to do another video on at some point, which would be quite cool. Uh, Ben says maybe the Phobius as Dragons part 5. Would it be part 5? No, it's part 6. The next one is part 6. I've been keeping track of all of the the Phobius listed and the actual video bits. It's part 6, which is really cool because I don't think, other than the multiverse story, I don't, and maybe uh, Ben 10 Dragons. I don't think we've ever had a part 6 on a video, which would be really cool. Um, I want to put some more details in, so I want this to kind of add to the detail, but I also want to show off some of the, I know what I want to do actually. I want that there, and I want to start covering the rest of the face with the symbiote, so it's kind of worked onto what's happening on the back bit here. And I know we've got one that comes around here, but it's kind of hidden by this unless I make the symbiote bit more. Yeah, that might work. I also want to bring this one here out more on this side. Kind of like it's curving around, which I think will look quite cool. It's kind of like it's come from out that side bit to be like hooked around, which would be really cool. Omen Hart says, I believe no matter how strong an anime character is, they can't defeat someone with the power of Toon Force like Bugs Bunny or Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye, as long as he's got spinach, he'll beat any character in any universe. Um, oh, by the way, thanks for using my submission as your steampunk narrator. Don't forget he has a T Spencer in his mask. Yes, I used him as one of the little narrators in the last redraw. A couple of those designs in the redraw will be staying canon. A couple of them will be reappearing. Um, Depending on how well they go when they reappear, after a while, they may become the actual go-to character for a narrator, or they may not. We'll see how it goes. But there are plans to integrate the successful ones that you guys all like going forwards, which would be really cool. Um, I'm trying to turn that into a joke, but it's not going very well. Deku Kirito. Yes, after that yesterday's stream, Koi does owe a members only video walking a dog. It'd be quite cool. So I do realize I didn't actually put the neck bit in here, which is going to be a little bit interesting. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to plan out the main symbiote bits in the design so that it's going to look quite cool, but I don't want to overdo it on too much of the design. I want to keep some of the core dragon bit, kind of like the Charizard, like do half of it or part of it transformed and the other part not. But I think when you come over here, so this is kind of coming along to the leg bit. I think once we've done a few of these kind of stretched versions, I want this to come back up to the neck bit here and kind of spill on this side and then reappear over here, but coming from the bottom up would be quite cool. Um, yeah, Ben, I agree. I've lost track of how many phobia videos there were. The only way I know is in my editor, I have literally gone back and checked them, and I keep putting like 5 or something at the end of it, so I know which one it is. But yeah, I've still got probably about 90 phobias listed that I haven't even touched on yet, so it's going to be quite interesting. However, my next phobia dragons does have to have claustrophobia, and I need to figure out the story for that. Um, for how to integrate that into a dragon. That is on there. That's been promised into it to Ben Gaming. I'm not sure what name they are on YouTube now, but yeah, they know who they are. I promised I made a note. Claustrophobia has to be in the next one, so that will be in the next Phobias of Dragons video when that drops. Um, Galha19 says, have you heard the good news? My Hero Academia is getting a fourth movie. People are guessing it's going to be based on season 7. What do you think? Not sure. It could be, but I think they might actually. I've got a feeling that's not going to be based on season 7 completely. I think they're going to do. They'll have some attributes, but I think it's going to be similar to him learning about a couple of the other abilities from All for One, using them. I don't know if it'll be all of them, but I think there'll be that progression. I'd like to think they do like a mini progression before jumping straight into he knows about all the powers and how to use them. Quite cool. Ben's done disappear for across this video coming out today. That's fine. Come back in afterwards if you want, Ben. We'll probably still be here working on this. He's doing Avatar Mortal Kombat, which would be quite cool. Marin says my favorite is Giratina. Nice. Hey Tony, how's it going? Justin says if I give a theme song to Dempsey, it'd be Little Wonders from. Fair enough. But when it comes out, not right now. Yes, it will come out in the next 8 to 23 minutes. Um, what's it? Monday today. So it'll come out in about 8 minutes or so. I know other creators' timescales. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah, I know the timescales that other creators drop their artwork out from time to time if they're on a regular schedule. Which is quite fun, quite cool sometimes. Right, this one I want to be kind of a mixture of it. And then I mean I am going a bit quick on this stage just because I want to drop some rough guide bits in. Once I start inking this, I will be going a bit slower, just because I want to add some details in some areas. I've already pre-planned some bits of details. I'm going to try and make this look a bit more realistic. Minecraft, do you want the tail coming around the back this way or going downwards? Which one do you think? I'm going to let you decide this one. The tail down to the front or round to the back of the character? While I start with down. Nice, good choice. That does make things a little bit easier for me. I can have some fun with the symbiote kind of just crawling down the tail. And go around the back there. Cool, so that comes in there. I want the normal tail sticking out at the end. I do want to partly venomize a wing here, but I also feel it's going to have the kind of bit along here that we often get the symbiote where it's kind of made like a gunky style leg. Maybe this should come down here and we should just show that a bit more with part of a venomized bit under here just to show a bit of the symbol on the chest. And then one wing's going to be venomized um, completely, and the other one's going to be partially. So I think this one should be partial to show the symbiote kind of trying to stretch its way over, which will be quite cool. I quite like the idea of that. This almost kind of like a hand on the design is what I'm going for this. So that one can go across there, maybe branch out to this here, like so. What sounds more appealing, ripping off wings or jetpack wing? Ripped off wings or jetpack wings? How do you mean by ripped off wings? Do you mean wings that are literally physically ripped off an object, or do you mean like jetpack wings that are like really, really cool? Like this one, I want symbiote to kind of follow a similar suit, but this one's going to have kind of like sharp, spiky bits coming out the edge. And act like an armor, sharp, kind of like talon bit there, where it comes from. Okay, so I need to erase this back tail and the bit that's going around here. This, I need to turn that opacity up, merge them down, create my new layer, put that to there. Let's go into pretty much black, my inker. And I might have to drop that opacity just a tiny bit more. Too thick a line? That's too thick a line. That's about right. So now we're going to add the detail onto this one, which would be really cool. What have I missed? Anthony, by the way, Samara says, by the way, just randomly, what song would you like to play on your funeral? Is that to me or to everybody? Um, I don't know on my one. Let me have a think about that one. Tony says, can you do Digimon as Transformers or Venomized or something like that? I will potentially do that in a video. I am going to be doing something with Digimon. I was going to do Digimon SCPs, but Popcross beat me to it. Popcross beat me to it, and it's done two videos, but apparently they're not performing that great as SCPs. So Venomized versions might do. Venomized stuff always does really well. Um, this is not for the Justin says this is not for the community redraw. Are you sure? Oh, uh, Sawblade wings. It's kind of like that. What kind of question is that? Um, I just wonder in general for Salamence. Yeah. I don't know. Be interesting idea to see jetpack wings on a Salamence. That's kind of like a paradox future form, though, isn't it? Um, Eamon Hart says a few more days till my last year of high school starts. Time flies, I tell you. Wow. It's been a few years since my last day at high school. Bad to the bone, and it is for everyone. Marin's one is bad to the bone. That's quite a good one, actually. Um, I don't know, it'd be quite interesting. Uh, Ben, that is right. That's what happens if I do Digimon's mech armors instead of SSCPs. However, the mech armor one didn't do too bad. And I actually liked the design I did for mech armors. It came out really well, and I had to put a Nexon video in, essentially because it had been a while. So I'm happy with doing the mech armor one. It came out really well, which I'm really pleased about. But at the same time, SCPs would have been a really cool one. I might do it in the future. I might branch them into it and do like video game characters as SCP or TV shows as SCPs. It's really cool. How does eyes go? Is it just a red eye? I think it is. Well, it may just be a red eye, but I'm adding some details into his eye. I'm taking a creative or an artistic choice on this one. I want to give a bit of soul into his eye on this. It's kind of needed. Actually, this is kind of going up and around the head to a degree. And then we've got this bit here, which just comes up. I've zoomed in quite a bit for this. It's one of the nice things that you'll find is when you do a live stream, because you can take your time a bit more and you can zoom in, you can really get some extra details or variants and stuff that can take your time instead of having to be zoomed out for the videos. Um, Graduated in 2021, it feels like nothing. Wow. Yeah. You guys start to make me feel old. Lando Commando, hello, and welcome to the stream. Uh, Nexon, 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 it turns fast food items into mecha armors, maybe. Fairness, no, I think he won't be afraid of the symbiote. Don't forget, this is the potentially this is when the symbiote kind of um has already taken over the Pokemon. So when they're changing into the venomized form. And I love all these transition ones. I do probably have to do a final venomized version for each of these, like full on, just this is what it looks like at some point. That would be kind of cool to do. But there's also the bit where they're kind of like in transition or transformation at this point. And hopefully I'll be able to go till I finish this. We'll see how it is. I've been burning the candles at both ends, which is very bad of me of late. So I will do what I can do on this today. It shouldn't be too bad actually. Once we get going on this, it should turn out really nicely. And I'll have a look at the chat in a minute, guys. Uh, Justin, that is so true. It's one of the best things about being a live stream is making connections with people simultaneously, as well as just hanging out and just, enjoying whatever content is happening in the live stream. Being able to, again, chat with everybody. But at the same time, it's nice to just chill and do a sketch that's kind of taking your time on it. It's not massively like constrained to a deadline, which is really nice. And I won't know, but I assume based on the time that maybe notifications come out. So I probably lost a few people for a bit, and they'll be back in a little while. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't actually figure out how I'm going to finish this off. So this is probably going to be that kind of works, and this can go across the top bit here. Just do one of these weird strandy bits here. And back, and then it can just branch back around to that one. Yeah, I think that works. I say one of my key things for this is to try and add a little bit more detail on some parts to just make it kind of Captain Planet. Captain Plant. I was going to say Captain Planet then. I always do that. Captain Plant. Is it just me? Does everyone else think Salamence is overrated? No idea. I've never really thought about that to be honest. In all fairness, might sound really bad me saying that, but yeah, that's never come across, never popped into my mind that thought. However, that's probably because I tend to not think that way on stuff. Some things that are so overrated, but I don't know. I never really thought too deeply into a lot of things. Yeah, Justin, I think I'm the same. I've got no real opinions. I don't think too deeply about it, and not to that degree anyway. Uh, okay, so that's the yeah. Just thought he was too croissant shaped for my liking. Now you've said that, I can't unsee that. Just getting a drink a second, guys. Okay, so this one's going to be red going across here, and that follows that round to here, and then round to there and back. Sounds like someone's moving something outside. Probably a bin. That's going to be One thing is coming down here. My power cut got me. My power cut out from a big storm nearby. I'm gonna go. Bye. Bye, Deku. Hopefully your power kind of comes back, and yeah, enjoy the storm. Owen Hart, so correct me if I'm wrong, but your multiversal story arc and the multiverses that have the narrators are separate, correct? If so, then I came up with a name for two more different multiverses. They are completely separate, yes. One's venomizing Transformers and everything because I started that kind of trend and I enjoyed it and I liked it and that's where I was going with it. And the other is with the narrators is just it just developed, just became its own universe. I just put a narrator in because people said they were kind of wanting to see that, and I was a bit inspired, so I came up with Dino Dinosaur, first narrator we had on the channel, which I kind of feel bad. He's the first narrator and he's had the least videos, so in terms of di actual dinosaur related videos, so I might have to change that at some point. Might have to do a couple dinosaur inspired videos going forwards. Um, Not dinosaurs demons or demons of dinosaurs, but maybe a few other ones. It'd be quite cool. Right, so first neck piece coming down. I kind of want to give him more of a what you'd kind of see from a dragon going down the neck. I am taking some artistic license. Minecraft Transformers, if you don't like anything I'm doing, please shout. Because, you know, direction is good because it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm just doing what I can do. Howdy, Tortle. How's it going? And Marion says, I've got an idea. Cool. What's your idea? Well, you're doing that. I'm going to continue with this bit of the illustration. She's looking quite menacing at this point. Next, Venomized Grey Ninja. Possibly. I'll put that one down as an idea with Snorlax and it's Salazzle or whatever it is. Noxie can put it in the chat. He knows the one that I'm on about. Being venomized potentially. That'll be quite fun once I do. It's going pretty well. Just working on doing some pieces when I can. How you been, man? I'm good. I'm off work this week. Off, not YouTube, but off work, as in work this week. So, uh, I've got the boys. We've got a few things to do this week, amongst everything else. Trying to get ahead on a couple of video scripts. Just giving you guys behind the scenes info here. I've got a couple of video scripts I want to get done just to try and get ahead on a few, maybe the next two videos, and get them recorded, so I can just do the art as and when I need to, and then take it from there. But yeah, it's going good. Burnt the candles at both ends, preparing for this week off, so it's kind of feeling it. Uh, he already has a long tongue, and it would be interesting. Yes, a Grey Ninja's tongue would be. In fact, I have Venomized Grey Ninja before on the channel, but I didn't have a story with it. So part of this revamped Pokemon Venomized series will, like I had the Charizard and the Suicune and that, will probably have the Grey Ninja show up at some point, which would be really cool. I guess another question for you guys is there any series that you guys want to see worked with on the channel? Now's your chance to make a suggestion. That we don't currently work with. And I know that there's a skibidi toilet theme going around YouTube at the moment, and it has been suggested multiple times. I've got no idea. Can we do a Q&A? Yeah, ask me questions, and if I can answer them, I'll answer them. They could be about the channel itself, or they could be about uh, art stuff in general, or yeah, go for it if you've got questions. I'm happy to try and help as we go along. I can't promise to be massive amounts of help, but I will try. What's that line? Yeah, I know I did that line wrong. Percy Jackson. That has been mentioned before, and I did like the films that came out. I haven't watched the. In fact, I don't even think that Disney's released that series yet, have they? Um, that they were going to do. Is there going to be a series on Disney's Jackson? Um, yeah. There's going to be a series on Disney's. Yes, yes, I know there's going to be. I don't think they've released it yet. I kind of want to see it, but I was quite a big fan of the two films that they did. I thought those were done really well, so I'm kind of 50-50 about how well it's going to be. It's either going to be one of those ones that kind of make it or break it in the design. In the design. Yeah, this design's still going to make it or break it, but no, it's kind of going to be one of those ones that either make it or break it in terms of the Jackson one. It's better than the first. Is it out now then? If it is, I'll watch that at some point. I haven't been on Disney Plus in a while. Started going on Netflix again, so I'm looking forward to a couple of series that are on there. Watched Sonic Prime earlier, season 2, which is quite cool. Dragon Prince season 5's on there, and there's a whole load of other ones I want to watch, which would be quite cool. So I've got like a movie list to go through at some point. If anyone's joining, we are minimizing Salamence, and I'm just adding details while inking to certain sections, and then we'll turn off the rough sketch layer, and we will start digitally coloring this piece, which will be quite interesting. We still haven't decided what symbiote's going on it yet. I'm just getting a rough layout of everything. It has been suggested something like anti-venom, but I'm thinking maybe a contrasting color to its default skin color, perhaps. Um, Emma says for separate multiverses, I'd call it AM alternative multiverses, similar to AU or alternative universes, but on a much grander scale. Sorry. Ooh, I do apologise. That's the burning the candle at both ends catching up. Each artist animator have their own one or more alternate multiverses traveling between uh, alternate multiverses via crossovers with their own stories for other artists. Yes, that'd be quite cool. Um, Quite an interesting one actually as well, design-wise, with crossovers. I wonder how that'd work in the YouTube environment. I'm also yes, I'm not, sorry, I'm kind of just working on this bit a minute, concentrating on these lines. I realised I didn't do them as clear as I probably could have done. Uh, we don't really talk about movies. Ah, okay then. Total says, how did you learn to draw? Are you self-taught or did you take courses, books, or anything like that? Okay, so I've always had a pen and pencils in my hand since I was a young child, drawing and everything. My drawing at when I was like 11 isn't that great. I think I've shown it on a stream before actually. I've got it somewhere. Um, Probably got it behind the laptop to be honest. It was a Flintstones illustration, and that's my best drawing at like 10 or 11. Um, I wanted to be an animator originally and a cartoonist, and then actually let's finish that tail off. And then I went to school. I did my GCSEs at the time, and I failed graphics. Go me, I failed some art related. Completely failed it. And then yeah, did a year of what we call sixth form or year 12. That didn't work out. Went to college, got into what we call a BTEC over here in art and design. did that. Moved on to multimedia for after I completed that because that was an introduction to things like photography, 3D modeling, video editing, screen printing, graphic design, fine art, digital art using Photoshop, a whole host of things. I wanted to do graphics. They didn't have enough. They had too many people on the course, so they said we've got to move over to do multimedia. Um, Moved over to do multimedia, and then they said they didn't have enough people on the graphics course. Clever that was. Stayed in multimedia, and then I just basically picked up, learned the basics of a few things on that, and then since then just been drawing on and off outside of well, just drawing each year. So a little bit, I guess it's a mixture to answer your question. I am predominantly self-taught. From always drawing stuff and copying pictures. I remember on school lunch breaks, or breaks, I was sat outside on the steps near one of the school halls with A3 paper, drawing Mufasa from The Lion King for everybody, handing it out. I really, really missed a trick. I should have been charging them their lunch money. I really should have been charging them and making a business out of it at that age. But no, I was young and innocent and didn't think about that. And then yeah, so it's predominantly self-taught. A lot of my recent ones I've taught is I've just seen artist styles on YouTube and I just draw them. It sounds really, really daft, but uh, I was already drawing styles similar to Pop Cross to start with. That's kind of a standard comic-y process. The exact style is different. It happens over time, but just what happens. Um, I think my screen flickered next to me, but I don't know if that's just me moving what I'm doing on the screen. Which is quite interesting. Quite curious about that. I've also noticed somehow I've got a thicker line weight on this now, which is really weird because this is behind it. So I'm going to have to adjust that line weight in a minute. Right, let's turn this off a minute. Right, that's off, so that's a bit better. I'll keep that there. Just need to adjust it's not all of it. It's just some of it needs, that was the eyebrow. The other eyebrow needs to be here. Just need to adjust it a little bit just to make it not look so. It's always a good thing, a good trick doing on different layers. What have we got? Hopefully that answered your question at all. I kind of went off on a tangent or diverted off from that, but yeah, basically predominantly self-taught, learn a lot from YouTube, seeing what other artists do, trying it with my style and building it up. And the core fundamentals I'm always studying, such as color theory, light and shadow, um, anatomy, and perspective, the key ones. Uh, Myron says, "Do you have a pet?" I don't have a. Well, I do and I don't. I don't have a pet, but I have. There are two pets at my other half. Two cats, which are great. I have had pets over the years when I was younger and that, but currently I don't have a pet here. Emin Hart says, "You've done a crossover with different alternate multiverses before. Remember when Nexa met Benny Sharp?" Yes, I do remember that. That's one of my favorite videos. I was so blown away by the fact that some lines were done um, oh so kindly by Popcross for that. That was amazing. Um, let's just merge that down. Cool. So I don't have some closed lines somewhere, which is why thick outlines on the outside work wonders, whatever you're doing. Probably going to be like that. Nope, there's another one somewhere. Let's see, where could it be coming from? Down here somewhere. I got a feeling it's going to be somewhere around here. Yes. Um, but yeah, that was quite sorry, that's quite a fun one. And I'm really grateful that not only have I been allowed to, uh, he's kind enough to do some lines for what I scripted and tweak them. I've been allowed to reuse them in videos after being given permission to. Only those lines, and only where it's relevant to. So that's why sometimes you get that same line appear in a couple of videos for Nexum's Trauma. But yeah, that was amazing. Hey America, sorry, I've just got with the chat. Hey America, yes, I'm doing another Venomized Pokemon. We are doing Salamence Venomized. It's something I promised Minecraft Transformers, so I do keep my promises on the channel. And we are working on just getting all the relevant sections that I need to get to be able to invert it and get my white color, which I actually just color pick the background color that I've got set and then just drop it on the layer. And just to check it, I turn off a layer and then I can the background layer, and then I can see if it's gone over it, if the lines are thick enough, how it generally looks on that. Which also helps because now what I can do is I can actually just drop the background color to something like this, and then anything I'm doing on top is less get glaring or less kind of like it's sort of like less. The screen's not so bright on your eyes now when you're looking at what I'm doing with the character. I think it's glaring is the phrase, but I could not pronounce it for the life of me 2 minutes ago. All right. Marion says, when are we drawing dragons for Community Redraw? Oh, I haven't thought about doing you guys to submit dragons for a redraw. I've done creatures before, nobody submitted dragons, but actually a dragon redraw. That is quite an interesting one. That's a good question. Uh, when I do a dragon redraw at some point, let's see, we've got August one's the Fakemon. I expect there'll probably be some designs which could possibly work as dragons in there. Um, September's one is one out of three. October's is preset. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but being Halloween, that one's going to be quite fun. November, maybe November. November or January, possibly. It is on the list. I can't promise it'll be this side of Christmas. There are one or two that I cannot shift that I've planned in. Uh, Sus owns or Sus owns. You like Rotom? That's a good choice. Any particular form of Rotom? Mine's okay. Heart says whenever a character or bits of other multiverses cross over to a different multiverse, not their own, I don't call it a crossover. I call it a Nexum event. I quite like that. Yes, it does work out to be pretty much a Nexum event. Um, I'm going to try something different on this one actually. I am going to go for a completely different approach here. That's going to be a reference, and I'm just going to drop in. Continue filling. I'm going to color drop in and see. I'm trying this differently now. I'm going to try a whole different method on this. Um, I'm going to color drop this in and see what I can actually do about making this quite. Oh, it won't work on those bits though. Mental note: the bits where I've got, yeah, the bits where I've got the symbiote blending in too much won't really work. So that's fine. I can go back to this one for those. But that's not a bad way to do several areas on a layer. I mean, this is going to be. Yeah, I didn't think this through for the reference layer properly though, but that's not a problem. That still kind of worked for solid sealed off sections. So that's something I could use in future videos. That's not a bad technique. I will bear that in mind. See, learning something new in life. Um, Damn it, I have school in November. Myron, don't worry. It's going to be plenty of time for it. So if you have time now to design your own dragon and write some lore about the dragon, the name of it, what it breathes, or a bit about its habitat and stuff, do it. do it now, save it, and you can always submit it when the redraw is actually happening. I've got no rule to say you have to have it pre-done. You have to have it done the month of the redraw. People have been submitting their Fakemon designs that are they've pre-made since the last Fakemon or Pokemon. I think Pokemon's Mech Armor community redraw, where I got people to submit their own Pokemon and let me know their uh, was it yeah, submit their own Pokemon and let me know something or other. Um, oh no, there's one where we had the characters and let me know your favorite Pokemon and you submit your own original character. And there were ones where it was submit your own Pokemon and I turned them into mech armors, which actually did really well. But I'm not doing that this time with them. I'm not making the Pokemon all mech armors again. We did that in a community redraw already. I'm going to try something different. Right, that's fine, but clipping mask does help that too. Marion says, anyway, sweet, what's your real job? My real job is I'm a web developer. I I just work on websites. So yeah, my real job's coding and making things look pretty, in effect. So yeah, you got me. Um, oh, I did not close that bit off. There we go. I'll add to the effect a bit later, but I'm just realizing I'm not actually doing a really good job of closing some of these sections off for the full color bit when I go to look at it. Missed a couple lines that I can add later. I just want to get the general main bulk of this done. I have noticed that we've got two Pokemon that are similar in like almost similar in color being venomized between the two. I know Garchomp had sort of like darker skin, but I think the background and stuff made it stand out a bit more in terms of this color, which is quite cool. If other artists collab and their characters meet each other, is the next event? Yes. Um, another Pop Cross Studios and Dempsey crossover happens, it's a next event. If that happens, it's probably yeah, that would be amazing if that happens. But um yes, that all leads down to time constraints, schedules, and other factors. So we shall see. I am open to it, but I'm also respecting the fact that it is rightfully a lot of work um, to do those types of events, those crossovers. They can take a while to do the work. So unless you plan it ahead and you're working on it like well in advance, um, it can become super time consuming. Okay, I know I did his wings blue, but I'm going to turn them red now because I just realized I did them wrong, which is one of the nice things this. So I think this is coming along quite nicely, actually. I do need to do that. There we go. I do need to sort this bottom mouthpiece out on color. It's the bit where I'm still trying to think what colors will work now that we're doing the flats. What colors will work for the other elements? I'm also doing all the flats on one layer, which I don't normally do. So this is going to be really interesting. Justin, I just submitted something. Nice. I'll if it's on the Discord, I'll check it out later and I'll store it. How old am I? I am not quite 40, but I'm over 30. That's all I'm saying. Um, I often look older than I actually am, but not by much. Oh, and if it's on the April 1st at Omen Heart, it's called a Benny event. That would probably be quite true, actually. Um, okay, so I've got these. I should be able to select the bits I want out of this quite easily once we're done anyway, so that's not a problem. Um, I want that grey colour there for normal claws. So normal claws there. Continue filling because I want teeth to be grey. Normal claws are grey. Behind the eye will be grey because they'll become white colour. Ah, that bottom jaw's the grey colour. See, but now I can just colour that bottom jaw a grey colour and it works. One of the very nice things of doing stuff like this is you can quite easily and quickly. Yeah, it's a little bit too sure the wrong colour. Quite easily select and change whole sections now, so that works really well. And I think that grey also needs to be used. Yeah, here and here. Yes, that would work. I kind of made it a bit more of a larger bit there, but that should work. So now it's the symbiote colors. Throwing my pen away. A few seconds, guys. Uh, Koi Gaming. There's my Venomized Charizard, as we did the little emoji thing. And overlaying the Venomization is such a great idea. Yeah, I'm kind of working on that one. I will be doing that on another one. I haven't done the full flat bit on this one, but I will be doing that on future videos, potentially, which will be really cool. Heart says, just a few more days till my last year of high school starts. I believe it was last year around this time that I started participating in community redraws. It might have been. I've got your first email. I'll have to dig that out, um, which would be quite cool. Why do venomized Pokemon have spikes on their heads? Well, this one kind of has spikes anyway, on its design. So if you look at the picture below me, it's kind of got the blue spikes coming out anyway. But Venom takes the features and accentuates them, and a lot of Pokemon develop the spikes or the horns because they're based on animals or insects and stuff, which is quite cool. Is that a Xenomorph 5 ender behind me? No, but it could be a Xenomorph Avenger. Um, Minecraft, if you're still there, I'm going to start playing around with colours for the main symbiote part now. I'm going to see what it looks like if I start, if I go the default colour for the bulk of it. Not too bad, but do we have a contrasting colour for this? Let's go into Harmony. So, an orange. What do we think about an orange version of it? I quite like that, to be honest. That could be quite a funky design. Are we going for orange? I still got to draw a Venom bit on the front bit, but yeah. Yeah, I think orange. We'll go with orange. It's looking quite nice. Um, I will go with my standard dark color here for these bits here. Lando Commando, I'm all for orange. Green. I'll drop green on the orange afterwards and we'll have a look. It looks like a Scooby Snack monster from Scooby Doo. It probably is a Scooby Snack monster from Scooby Doo. I would not be surprised if this creature turned into one like that. I think I want to have. Right, so that's the orange color we've got. I need to remember that. Um, you said a green color. Uh, Green or orange? Orange, green, orange. Mm, I think orange works a little bit better on that one. Green's not a bad idea, but I don't think it works with the color scheme. I think if we had a purple Pokemon like Gengar, a green version would look really cool. Oh. That's the color scheme for a Gengar. Purple. Would purple work? It has to be that kind of purple. That's looking a bit like the Charizard one now. Do we do it purple? While we're deciding, and Minecraft, if you're there, have a look and say what color you want the symbiote to be. We've got orange, green, or purple, and you should be able to see them. Um, Ben says, Dempsey, maybe do a variety episode using Avatar, The Last Airbender, narrated by SCP narrator, steampunk narrator, demonic and unicorn. I do need to do a variety one at some point. So we've got purple, we've got orange, um, or actually, I'll make it more that color green. Or we got green. Violet, maybe. Oh, so you want to go more on the lighter colors? Like that? Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Eye's got to be red, though. Now, the eye I'm doing on a different layer for a reason while we're looking at this. Um, the eye will be on a different layer. And I'll tidy up all these little bits that aren't selected in a minute when we go to merge down. But I want the eye on a separate layer with an alpha lock because I want to go and just add some extra detail into it. Yeah. Um, yes. Yeah, it actually works really well. I think we're going to use that. That's quite cool. I do need to obviously jump in now and tidy a few of these bits up. So the problem with this is now that it's because it was a reference, it's not too bad, but it only goes for the bits where it can get to. So there's some of these little tiny bits here which need a quick tidy up just to sort it. It's kind of my bad. I didn't realize the reference there would do that. Otherwise, I'd have just highlighted it my normal way, but it's not the end of the world. It's not going to hurt too much. It's just a few areas that you might not even notice really, but I will, and it'll do my head in. It'll bug me. Pretty much where we've got these little corner bits. I'm looking for the more obvious ones, like here and here, and on the face. These areas where it's kind of merging between the two need to be. I know I will do though. I did like that orange color, and as purple and orange are complementary colors, and they do go well together. I am going to drop it on the bit for the eyebrow. I think that adds just a little hint of color into that top bit. I think that'll do for that. I need to change the teeth on the normal version though. They need to be more of a bluish off-white color for this, just to differentiate it a little bit from what we've got here in color. Uh, well, what have we got? That's the color you're trying to say when you said purple. Salamence Muckimization. Behave, you two, behave. Ivan Ooze has taken over Salamence. Galhan says, "Hey Dempsey, may I ask what videos do you have lined up for this month?" I did mention some before. I do have a Phobius the Dragon's video is lined up for some point this month. Obviously, the community redraw. Um, I believe there's a dinosaur episode if I can figure out the mechanics of it. There is a Demonica episode, and on one of the episodes that are happening, I'm not going to tell you which one out of those, we're going to learn a little bit more about what makes one of the narrators tick, or rather, a bit more about their past, which would be quite cool. Okay, so this is quite cool. What I want to do now is um, I want to select all the purple. Cool, that works. I'll go with that. And add the selection for that. Uh, they're more bones, but the purple one I want the selection for. So if I go back and load that selection and put that on a darker layer, I want to drop what I call my venom texture, which is basically just a simple pattern over the top of it. And it's like, everybody's like, no, you're ruining it. You're making it darker purple. It's going to be fine. The maximum size of the brush, I need to tweak the settings to get a really big brush area. But now I've got that, I can just go overlay and knock the percentage right down. And I also need to just do another layer with a lighter color here. How do I do it? The Pokemon one, was it a? Yeah, it is kind of a classic Venom design built into it. Uh, Clipping mask, clipping mask. That's fine for that for now. What have we got? So, Galahad 19 says, hey, in your Mecha Armor series, you've done Pokemon Digimon. Why not put Yu-Gi-Oh on the list? On the list, do we have like a Blue Eyes Ultimate Mech or something that's cool? Yu-Gi-Oh was on the list for a Mech Armor episode at one point. I can't remember why it didn't go forwards. I think it might just be more a case of I never got around to fleshing that episode out. But Yu-Gi-Oh Mech Armor is on my list of potential videos. I do need to do another Yu-Gi-Oh SCPs one actually. Uh, and SCP's Venomized would be cool, the maximum venom. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. And at some point, I need to plan out a steampunk episode, which will also be quite cool. Right, so what I need to do now is I need to take each of these and work on them. So we take the blue color first. I'm going to select it, drop it down and add a darker shade. Between that, don't I? There we go. And then just add where I think the shadows will come from a little bit. I just want to add a bit of a gradient to it to kind of simulate some parts. Now the only drawback is you don't get a gradient tool like you do with Sketchbook like in Procreate, which is the most annoying thing in the world. I really wish they would add that to it. Um, it'd add that to it because that'd be absolutely insane. Um, Busy Bee, yes, I've got tons. I mean, that's just a few things. That's not even including any live streams, any bonus video things that might be happening, if I can get around to doing them. In amongst everything else, there is a lot lined up. I mean, I've even had people asking me to do something with that skibbity toilet thing going on, doing a video around that. So it's like, what can I do for that? I ain't got a clue. That'll be quite interesting. Problem, not a problem, Galahad 19. We'll catch you next time. Right, so yeah, I want that color. Let's work on this one next. Yeah, that should work. Just to give it a little bit of shadow definition in a few areas where I think it's going to go, just to try and add some depth before I put the rest of the details on. It's a bit weird trying to do this manually doing the gradients from time to time rather than having a tool. I do have to. I have promised you guys, and I will be doing it this year, possibly this month. I will be doing a video. However, I will be doing it where I'm not using Procreate. I will use something different for one all of the animations. I have promised you guys I'll be doing like 3 different software programs in one video to see the differences. So that'll be interesting. Procreate's my go-to one. It's amazing, but we'll see what happens with that. Um, it could be quite interesting to see the outcome. I know it's too late for that, but can you try making 2 symbiotes take over someone's body? Yes, I have been. It's too late on this one, but one of my Venomized episodes, I'm planning to. I haven't decided which series it'll be that I venomize. I'm going to be mutating a symbiote, or have 2 symbiotes fighting over a body, on it, which would be quite cool. And that's a really cool idea. You've reminded me about it. It will be awesome to actually get that done. But yes, I have planned a uh that's weird. I have planned one. Um so I have planned sorry, I got distracted there. So I have planned to have a episode where someone's getting venomized, but part of the story is one character is going to be hit by 2 symbiotes. And we're going to see what happens in it. King of the Art, hey, how's it going? And welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if you've been on the stream before, but welcome. It's not going too badly actually. We're just getting a few flats and a bit of basic lighting is the best way of describing it. I tried to add a few colors to the flats a bit just to make it happen. Just so it can kind of when I start adding the lighting onto it and the details, it makes it pop a bit more. I haven't really gone with what I would normally do for a lot of it, but that's not a problem. But yeah, I'm trying a different way of picking out flats and that for this, which is quite interesting. I used a reference layer, which I don't normally do. So if I struggle to pick up elements, actually that maybe works a little bit better actually. Just take that down quite a notch. I should have done this sooner on that one. Basically working on the flats for the design, and then we're going to see what happens when we add the details and the kind of like the sort of super slimy tongue and that. Evan Hart says, I have a question. What do you know about the power of creativity? In what context? Is my question back to you. And King of the Art says, you should do a Steven Universe characters as kaiju. That's not a bad idea. I have been trying to think of something to do with characters like Steven Universe. I also have to do something with Owl House and Gravity Falls. That's not a bad idea. In fact, um, where have they gone? 1 second. Where are they? I'm going to stick it on the whiteboard so I don't forget it. And that was by King of the Arts. If I do the video, I will give you a shout out, King of the Arts. That's not a bad idea. If I get around to doing it, then you'll definitely get a shout out at the start of that video. Is that a Xenomorph Bebop behind you? That would be insane. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Xenomorph. Should Venom be accepted in the LGBT community? Venom's probably going to go in the everything community. Uh, Marion, about Skilly Toilet, just like with FNF map hats, you've got you covered. Um, yes, no, on that one, I really don't know what the craze is with it. It's insane. I'm possibly going to make a short in the next week on it, see what happens. I'm thinking of maybe taking a genre of characters like Pokemon or Ben 10 or like popular characters and just drawing their heads in toilets to the song. Something stupid like that, reversing it around. King of the Art. I respond to as much in the chat as I can do. While we've got a community that's growing and there's not hundreds and hundreds of people fighting to chat each stream, I'm more than happy to answer questions and put it down. But yeah, and I always give credit where credit's due. If someone's giving me an idea, and heaven forbid, I forget to comment that they gave me the idea and they mention it, I will correct myself in a future video or stream. But yeah, it's basically going to be quite a nice bit for everybody on the streams at the moment. I can respond to them, and I'll respond to as many as I can do, which is quite cool. Hey, Furious445, how's it going? Uh, it's a series made by YouTube, but I know I've watched the season one and two as shorts. Um, I'm trying to think how I can get that to work to see if I can use that in a growth phase, which would be cool. This is why he's hands down my favorite YouTuber because I respond to people. The secret of YouTube. Um, yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I try to respond to as many as possible. And while we're this size, then it's quite nice to be able to do that. But once we grow in size, then it's potentially becoming it'll become a bit harder. But I'll put slow mode on it, and I'll still try to respond to as many as possible as I can do. Um, which is, just the way it goes. It's reply to everybody as much as you can. And the same with comments. I tend to try and to reply to any comments on my videos and that as I see them. There can sometimes be a bit of a delay between me responding if the video's been out for a while and I haven't seen the message. But as soon as I see the message, I tend to reply to them. Um, if it's something I can reply to. If it's a question about like what's coming up and I'm not wanting to give anything away, I hold the right to refuse telling you anything about anything. But no, yeah, I think it's the whole point of the community. You've got to reply to them. Right. Where have we got to? So, Justin said, oh, I mean, like, so in any context, like how powerful is creativity and what could one do with it? If you had the power of creativity, you could technically make anything that you want. The only question I have for you is with the power of creativity, if you're creating something out of nothing, you have to create it out of something, whether it's the atoms being rearranged in the air. So when you create it, is it being used from the atoms in the air around you and you've reformulated the electrons and stuff and made it? Or does it take actual atoms from other things within the universe and it'll take a chunk out of something and then you can make it, but you don't know because it's distant side of the universe? Quite an interesting idea. Um, Justin says they have done the turtles as humans in that Power Rangers crossover comic. They're black for whatever reason, even though they should have been Japanese narrative-wise. Yes, but don't forget they're from New York, so that could be why. Um, it could also be the case of they just wanted to make them diverse, which is probably the biggest bit. They just wanted to make them all like they'd have something. They probably had some really cool designs, and they went with those. In all fairness, which is always quite cool. Um, I will get to some more chats in a second. I just want to add a bit of shading onto this to try and add a bit more to the tongue. And then I just want to go into that bit there and that one there. We're almost done on this actually to get onto the actual details, which would be really cool. Um, Marian says, and now when are we on how about FF characters Kaijus? Possibly. I do have a Five Nights at Freddy's idea. I've got two of them. I haven't actually gotten around to doing them, and I keep putting them off, which I really shouldn't do. Uh, but I want to make sure I get certain bits of the lore right for it, and there's a bit of research in it. Even though I've kind of played the games once or twice, there's always going to be a little bit of research um, to be done, which would be quite cool, quite fun. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so now I need to merge these down before I go on to the next bit. So merge down, and merge down. So King Up of the Art says, I do art and I love your style. Any tips? Pay attention to what I'm doing next for the lighting layers, because this is the bit that brings them out. I mean, having a bit of gradient color in your flats is a great tip to start with. Um, so I don't know how much you know about art, but I'll just give a super crash course on what I do. So if I've got a color and say it's this blue, I'll go on the color wheel. It's easier for you to see. If you want to make it darker for shadows, you go the closest route to purple, and then you bring it down to the right. If you want to make it lighter for like sunlight hitting it or light hitting it from the side, and you have this color again, you want to go round to purple, but take the long route round and then bring it up. And you can just shift it by a bit, and you'd actually get a huge shift on what the colors are. So that's the key thing for the flats colors. Have a mid base color and go around the color wheel for the part that you want. Um, the next tip, after you've got the gradients down, is you can add a bit of texture, add a bit of extra lighting to your art by picking a dark color. I've created this noise grunge type brush in Procreate, and basically it is just literally just a scratchy noise type brush. Some programs have them built in. Um, I turn it to a hard light layer because I kind of like how that looks. You can do it, it's like an overlay or multiply layer, and you just go over the whole piece to give it a bit of texture. And then you can decide where you want the texture and where you don't. So on this, you could then, if you wanted to, erase it around the eyes just to make them stand out, which is what Popcross actually does with eyes. That's the difference usually. Popcross will erase it around the eyes. I'll kind of keep the gradient grains in. On the overlay layer, which is for the light, pick a same color as your light source, soft airbrush, probably about between 7 and 20% depending on the program, and then just get an appropriate size brush and just do the lights from the angle that they're coming in. So for this one, I tend to like coming down from the top. It's top right or here, but it's actually the top left. So I like to come down from the top left. But if you can look at the light source on me, because the camera's kind of flipped what you're looking at, the light source is coming hit me here, so it's lighter, and it's darker here, which is more blue to more yellows and reds for warm, um, which does work. And you can just add the light source to give focus at this point. So that's another tip. And if you want to, be sure to go back into the stream or to get notes and stuff and see what I'm doing. And I'm just literally just building up the layers with a soft airbrush bit by bit. And then it'll bring us on to the next bit. And I tend to do, I use a clipping mask, which is really good because it just means you don't go outside the layer underneath. And I create, used to be hard light, but I quite like soft light at the moment because it adds more of the gradient texture on what I do. So I create two soft light layers, an overlay layer, and an add or a glow layer depending on your program. And the colors I'll pick will be a dark blackish blue for the soft light layers because they're the shadows, and quite a bright, vibrant, kind of like a creamy yellowy white at the top of the spectrum. And that's going to be for the highlight layers. And the only things that I do different on these are one layer has color fill on, one layer uses the airbrush on the shadows. And I'll show you what I mean by building up the light sources when you do the details. So once I've selected the area I want with the heart, with the sort of like solid fill, it will pick up the gradient and everything here. which works quite nicely. And I tend to work on a section. I'll pick up the color that I want. I'll think where the light's going, and I'll do that. On the next layer, I tend to just use the brush tool straight out and then just brush where I want like extra shadows to make them darker. So it's starting to go a bit darker on it. Overlay layer is just literally lasso the sections that you want in the eyes and that, and then just use a brush based on where the light's coming from. And it will start picking up the colors because it's an overlay layer, so you get a nice bit. And the layer to use the most sparingly, depending on what you're doing, and you can change the opacity down a little bit, probably about 70%, is this layer. And you can just add your kind of fine highlight bits. And depending on what you're doing, you just add them. And then what happens, it just builds up that realism in that one area on those 4 or 5 layers. That's probably the best tips I can do. I am using Procreate. I've just seen your other message. So yes, I do use Procreate. I will be at one point using Sketchbook, Photoshop, and Procreate potentially in a video. If I can do it right, you won't know which one's which if I can get rid of the interfaces, but I think everybody will be able to tell, to be honest. Um, and then, yeah, that's basically the tips. And then it's just practice. Just keep building up the fundamentals. And if you struggle with drawing something, draw it a lot and use references. Biggest tip is use references. I have the pose for this Salamence on my screen here in front of me. To use. So I basically just took the pose and drew it in my style, a little small tweak here and there, and stuck a symbiote over the top, which is really cool. Um, I've missed a few bits here. Lando, if he did that, would they be robots like Godzilla or just straight up monsters? Oh, they'd probably be monsters with mechanical parts like cyborgs. Um, for FNAF as kaijus. Imagine Demonica as a skibbity toilet, Erenfold as a warlord. That would be quite interesting. Justin says this is the same comic fought where they fought to put mutagen in power coins and they became their dinosaurs when they morphed. Wow, that is insane for an idea. I've got to read this comic. Um, so either you like it or not. Try to explain if I will quickly. Um, I do like it. I just need to figure out, pay attention to the lore. I played the games once or twice, but I've never completed a game. I should have mentioned that earlier, but yes. Um, Captain Plant says, I'm putting a bunch of effort into my monthly redraw Pokemon. I think it's thumbnail worthy, to be honest. Well, if it gets picked and it is thumbnail worthy, it will be done as thumbnail worthy. But if you're putting this much effort into it, it may be worthy to be on one of the posts anyway. Dempsey, ever heard of Webtoon before? Yes, I've read a lot of Webtoon comics, and I read a lot of Manua Plus comics, which are effectively similar to Webtoons. Solo Leveling Warrior is my favorite Webtoon that I've ever read. Tor, which iPad do you use? I have the 11-inch Pro, and I think that's why I can't get a lot of layers with high quality. Tor, are you using Procreate? Because it's not, the layers in Procreate are due to, I'm gonna actually keep that how that is. That's cool. That looked quite cool. That little tutorial. The layers in Procreate are based on space on the iPad. The more space you've got, the more layers you've got at higher dimensions and DPI. So the higher DPI and the larger the canvas with pixels, the less layers you'll get. But if you have more space and you have one of the newer ones with the M1, you'll probably get a lot more. I'm on a 12.9 inch, 256 gigabyte iPad now. I used to be on a 11-inch, I think it was 64 gigabyte hard drive, and I had to keep backing it up over soft. I had 13 layers to deal with for most of my earlier videos. I now have a limit of 22 on this size, but I had 13 previously, and that took a lot of getting used to, which is quite cool. Uh, and animations, thank you. I'm glad you think this looks awesome. I use the I've used the pixel dimensions you recommend. and I get the low teens in the lesser amounts. In the lower amounts. Yeah, it depends. I mean, I've only got 22 on this. You can drop the dimensions down. I mean, the ones that I use are basically to print at A2. So if you want to drop it down to A3 in inches and then do that, 300 dpi, that could work. Um, uh, King of Art, that's not a problem, King of Art. I'm glad that helps. If you've got any questions, just fire them in, and if I see them, then I'll answer them. I do plan to do a series of I do a I'm planning a series of maybe tips and shorts, which would be quite cool. Uh, Welcome back, Deku Kyoto. The power's back on and the sun is out. Awesome. And Koi is showing the emojis along with Minecraft. Uh, what else have we got? Let's have a look in the chat. King the Art. On the descriptions of most of the videos, like the redraw videos, Monday and Friday's one just gone, and I think I put on the description of this live stream, you can submit two ways. One is via the Discord if you're on the Discord, and I've got a redraw submissions channel which you can submit to. The other one is emailing redraws at dempseyj-illustrations.co.uk, and they are in the descriptions of most videos. So if you see that, just fire it away and send it in, and I'll keep an eye out for it. King of oh, sorry, King of that's Omen Hart says there's a webtoon comic I recommend. It's called says an interactive webtoon. You couldn't guess. You can interact with the characters. That is quite a cool idea, actually. What have we got? Who showed up just because of my share? Just curious. That's actually an interesting one. Yeah, who showed up because of the share by Koi Gaming? That'd be awesome to get a few people show up. That'd be really cool. Oh, I need to turn that back on for this layer. And I say I'm looking to do details on this one, so I am looking to kind of do. It's going to sound daft. I've got to work this out just right, but I am looking to get a scaly type of effect where certain bits of the light hit. So we've got this, but I also want to kind of do. It's going to look like a Mewtwo version of this, by the way. I'm just thinking. I'm just wondering if I should do the scale similar to like I did with the Charizard, where I've got because they are kind of like dragon types. I just want to add some of the details on here. Uh, I appreciate that, Minecraft. I've seem to have a glitch where I've got a message, like two messages merged together on my screen. Between Koi and Minecraft, there was a green bit of a message. It might just be buffering lag or something, but yeah, that's interesting. Um, I am using Procreate, and yeah, I have the 64 GB version, so that makes sense. Yes, it is a case of that's why I tend to once I've got the layers at a certain point, even on this, like the flats, I'm happy with it. I tend to, and I know I'm not going to change the colors, I'll merge them all down, but merge from the bottom up. So start on the bottom layer, go one layer above and merge that down, and then keep going up. So the stacks down. If you do it from the top, it will inherit the bottom layer's blending option. So if it's overlay at the top and soft light at the bottom, the overlay will become a soft light on top of the soft light and merge the layers. If you do it from the bottom up and your bottom's normal, you've got your flats a normal color, and then you've got like a hard light and overlay. The hard light will merge in fine, then the overlay will merge in on the top fine, and you actually build the layers up one by one how you want it. That's another core tip when using Procreate, because I've done it before, merged them the wrong way around, and I've wondered why it looked amazing. And when I've looked at the flats, it's like the flat version. It's like throwing the pencil away here. Looked at the flat version, it's not quite the right colors, or it's off, or it looks funny. And the reason is you've got to go from the bottom up, not the top down. Um, what else have we got? 19. Keep watching those, like keep those likes coming. Yes, yes. I'm not sure how many likes we've got now, but yes, please keep them coming. It's really nice to see likes on the channel, especially on the stream. I will have a look at the chat again in a second. I'm also conscious of trying to get some of these patterned bits in. Although once I start them, I'm going to have to do them across the whole body, which will be fun to do. But I want to do some detail on this so it kind of like stands out a lot. Um, what else have we got? Not many people make money like Henry and the but I'm doing this for no reason. So no, Myron, you're doing it for a very good reason. I've been reading bits of it to get caught up on the lore that you're doing, which is fine. And I can go back to the chat replay and have a look at it. So I do appreciate anything you've put in there. I'm just not reading the lore out as we're going through, but I am skim reading bits. King of the Artists. I wish I could donate, but that's not a problem. Donations are completely optional. I'm just happy people come along, chat, hang out, and enjoy the artwork. I'm looking to build the community and just have a great bunch of people on there. A few regulars come back to watch the streams, and we just hang out, share tips, and do some more smart together. That's the main point of the channel, and as it grows, those will happen over time. I'm not super fussed. One day I would love to be doing YouTube full time and earning enough to do that, but yeah. In the meantime, I'm just enjoying you guys hanging out, doing the stream, enjoying the videos, and helping you out with your art as and where I can. Got any tips for dealing with empty space in a drawing? Yes. Are you on about a background or are you on about give me an example and I can give you a really a good bit on that because depending on your example, it might work. But if you've got empty space in a drawing, you can add extra objects or you can do a background that you can actually just do what I did on the last video for the redraw. In fact, I'll show you how to do that, how I've done that. So if I come out of here, I mean, as you can see, I've got empty spaces here and I've used backgrounds into the background into it and I've added how I'm doing here is, and that just makes a massive amount of difference compared to having pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much that kind of empty space. There's a lot of empty space in the air, but just by adding this like effect, it's filled the space. So think what you can put in the background that doesn't take away from the image too much is probably the best advice I can do for empty space for tips. Usually an abstract bit. You could even just do a background, and I've seen it done before. You have a background, you have a color. I'm just going to use a white color here to do it. You got your paint bit, and people just do a really scribbled version like that behind it. But because you've got it in a different color, it's kind of filling up some empty space. They do a lot better ones than that. They kind of have it going up here and stuff, but you get the idea. It's kind of like how to deal with the empty spaces to work on those bits, like have some abstracty, but not too vibrant to take away from the picture itself. Uh, so, yeah, Marin's right. Add trees and cliffs and stuff. Yeah, that also works as well, which is really cool. Lando says, "Hey Dempsey, I've been thinking about going into digital art. Got any good suggestions for what kind of art programs I should start out with?" Um, I would have said Sketchbook, but you have to pay for that now. So Procreate is a one-off payment of about $10 or £10, depending what country you're in, if you've got an iPad. That works really well. Photoshop could be another one to start off with. Um, I mean, Procreate I would recommend if you do have an iPad with an Apple Pencil. That's probably the best one to start your drawing. It's got amazing brushes built in by default, along with other elements. But I started out on a sketchbook and used to be Autodesk Sketchbook, but it's no longer that anymore. I started out on sketchbook and what's I using? Coral Painter. I managed to get a free version of that for a while, which has got it's got the best pencil sketch for any line artwork that you're doing ever. Best amazing cover pencil on that, and you draw it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I've never met a program that has the pencils as good as that. Procreate is near it, but not quite there. Um, but it depends on your budget. I mean, if you want a one-off payment, it's definitely going to be something like um, Procreate. You could also look at Clip Studio. If you get the license, get a monthly subscription, like £7 or something with that, you can use the computer version as well as an iPad version. So that Clip Studio Paint is another one that's very popular. It depends on what you've got available now in terms of equipment to use digitally. Like it's an iPad, is it a laptop or something, and then you build it up from there. So just need to see what's happening on that. Go for dude. Oh my God. Hello. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a stream in absolutely ages, it feels like. Sorry, I've just seen you say hello. If you're still here, just say hi again in the chat. That's awesome. And just to let you know, Loki will be appearing by October in a story. Loki will be coming back in a story. I'm not going to tell you what's happening in it, but the Loki will be mentioned, referenced with a picture. I'm not sure about doing the voice as such, but definitely going to be a reference for a picture in that. I've been building the narrators up to come back to it, uh, which will work. Uh, Fun idea for a redraw. What if you did a superhero character and made them steampunk? That's not a bad idea, actually. I am looking for some steampunk ideas, but either for videos or redraws, so that could be a really good one, actually. Um, Sorry. Actually, yeah. No, that could be a really good idea. I will consider that one. Steampunk isn't high on the list of ones to do just yet. Um, but when it is considered, I will look into that. I think, yeah, because we only did My Hero Academia Steampunk as a video, which is quite cool. I'm still working out the narrator in terms of the voice and personality. Even though I did that video, it's still work in progress. Um, What else have we got? 3,000 years later, he still hasn't forgotten he has to pay for the student's pizza bill. Nice. Alan Animations, welcome back. Where did you go? Oh, wait, hang on. No, it's 11 o'clock, so wonder where you went. I'm just being nosy now. You don't actually have to tell me where you went. That's just me being a little bit cheeky. Um, but welcome back. I think that's gonna have more light, but I kind of want to give it a bit of a that's up there. So maybe if I do that, yeah, contrasting shadow type thing from the symbiote in effect as we're working away for the details on this relatively slowly, but we're working through them. That being said, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. Never mind. What else have we got? You loved it. I appreciate that. I do need to do another one at some point. It's kind of like on a rotation, but there's so many series that I've done that I need to look at and pick up. I'm thinking I'm going to do similar series together to see if it helps with YouTube a bit more. So if I'm doing like Phobias of Dragons, I'll probably do a demon episode around that and an SCP episode or something more phobia or dragon related or something to boost a couple of videos in the algorithm out there and then work on the rest. Uh, did you have a link in it, Alan Animations? If you've got a link in it, it might have stopped it. It won't show it. It depends what's in there. I think links are blocked because we had spam bots at one point or people jumping in trying to put links on. I was getting people putting inappropriate links onto my videos in the comments, so I tweaked the settings slightly. Um, oh, it didn't. Okay, that's a bit weird. Justin says, "Do you think it's ironic who had? Do you think it's ironic who had drawn a Pokemon before a Pokemon presents that's happening tomorrow?" I don't quite understand what you're getting at there, Justin. Um, it probably would be ironic if I understood it. It's probably just the way it's written and I'm reading it. Dempsey, what did you think about doing a Pacific Rim episode? I was going to do that and I didn't get around to finishing it. That was that's in production. That's in fact all the research material or the designs have already been gracefully done by people for me. And if someone can remember what I'm on about, um, then yes, I just need to do the story for it, take those designs, and it's going to be fun. But yes, it's definitely a definitely going to be happening. Uh, the new Pokemon presents presentation. Ah, Justin, hang on a minute. Celebrate you've been a member for 3 months, and you have said, can you say as next oh my mech armors, what what is it about the speed race? Let me have a drink first. All right. I will have DempseyK Gaming cringing as I'm doing this. I will warn you now. The chat's probably going to go mental with, oh my God, no. Um, so, Justin, you want me to say as Nexum, oh my mech armors, what is it about the symbiote race? Okay. Hey, hey you, Justin. Oh my mech armors, what is it about the symbiote race? They're infecting everything. Hopefully that worked for you. It's a bit weird doing it on a live stream compared to the video bit, but yeah. It's hopefully I did it justice and yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm used to doing it one on one with the camera and that, and it's weird. I am one on one with the camera, but I know there's people behind the camera live as I do it. So if I make it messed up, I can't like go back and redo it as such. But yeah, it's it is good fun doing the voices. I've got 6 voices I tend to do for the channel now, which is really cool. Um The reason I was the reason I was gone was because I was responding to my comments. You should check it out when you get the chance. Oh yes, yes. No, that's fine. Yeah, life is why is that? Oh, that's why. I was wondering why that was kind of like massive, annoying, solid blur going down, but it's not. It's me being daft, not remembering what I'm doing. Loki has been a long boy between. Ah, he's floofed and stretched out then. Nice. Um, Dempsey gaming cringing the better. You should wait till I actually do. Tell you what, he was Dempsey K Gaming was not here, or Dempsey K Drawing now. Wait, what? Hang on a minute. Oh, okay. I've just read your comment. That makes sense. I'm thinking, did you get a fourth account or something I don't know about? No. That's fine. It's the only liberty you get as a father. Yes, the embarrassment factor is the top prize of being a parent. Yes. No. Yeah. No. That's quite funny. Um, the cringe factor. But when I was doing it, I tell you what, I never laughed so much as like the last redraw video. If you guys made it to the end, then you would have seen me laughing at the fact that I just before that recorded the lines of Lord Nexum versus Doctor Virus, the Doctor Virus version of Nexum. Because the voice effects for changing the voice it's done after recording. I basically just had Nexum arguing with himself if anybody was walking by, and I was in stitches at it. It's one of those few moments where it's like it's kind of making it worth it at the same time. It's like, oh my God, am I really doing this? Which is quite fun but quite interesting. And as you can see on this stream, when we do something like the Charizard one or the symbiote, when I do that, and put, I had the time, sorry, not I put, but I had the time to put a respective amount of detail onto it, we start ending up with this really cool looking version. And then just take the layer, the top light off and just add that to it. And it starts building up to start looking really detailed, which is really cool. Um, that's not a problem, Marion. I appreciate you doing the effort so far on that. I will check out the lore from Matt Pat, but yeah, you've given me quite a nice bit to start with if I start planning it out. So I really appreciate it. Um, King of the Arts says underrated YouTube artist. I appreciate that. It's really weird. My videos were getting pushed out quite a fair bit on YouTube last year. They were getting like some of them were getting a couple thousand views, which is great. Some of them were just getting a couple, just under 1,000 views. But ever since they've changed a few things lately, in that they're just not getting the reach, and I know other people are getting the same thing. So just seeing what I can do with what works on that. But I really do appreciate the support from everybody and comments like that. So thank you. Um, I'll let that slide. Don't support my cringing. Eamon, didn't you laugh just as hard when I talked about Earnfold riding a blue model penguin? Sorry, Pegasus. Yes, I did laugh that hard, but it was really or similar to it, but it's a different kind of laugh. I mean, having Nexum turn around and basically call a version of himself a demented scrap reject, with the next one turning around and saying, "Who are you?" And then he goes in like a arrogant version of his voice, going, "I'm Lord Nexum. Bow before me, you inferior peasant," type thing. It's really funny for the contrasting personalities. And yeah, I'd done the lines about 2 or 3 times and I was in stitches. Here's the full video. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. That's not a problem, Myron. I'll find the video because links don't often get shared very well on the comments and the chat bits. But I will find the video for you. I do appreciate it. And if you're tired, um, don't do more than what you need to. All I need to know was MatPat. I will find the video from that. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Um, Justin, I could see an episode of Batman where all the villains get obsessed with Pokemon, so they play for the whole day. And Batman is heartbroken that the villains don't want to fight him anymore. Yes, but I did Batman characters in Pokemon. I did one episode of that. I don't know if I should actually do another episode of that. That was one of the weirder ones. Batman had a Noivern, because it was the only Bat Pokemon I know. Um, and then you had the Penguin, and the Joker was mentioned in it at some point as well. But you had Batman's adventure in I can't remember what I called it. I think it was uh, Goth Johto or something. It was something really trying to mix the words and stuff in. It was really weird. Um, okay, drawing. Marin, it's okay. I'm heavily educated in all of the ethnic law. I can teach Dempsey. Oh, oh boy. Every parent's worst nightmare. A child saying, "I know it." Yeah, I already know. I'm wondering, is it okay if I go to every Discord I'm a part of and spread the word of not in your channel, but the current Go for it. By all means, go for it. If you are able to save the image from the or screenshot the image from the post, actually share the if you can share the post on um the community posts that I did with the redraw details for August. if that's easier. But if you want to, feel free to share it. Only if you're allowed to on those though. Some of them don't. Some Discords don't like you doing promotions, or you've got to submit it to a mod to then promote something. But if you're allowed to, then please, by all means, feel free. I would appreciate anybody sharing the stuff out if you feel that there's an appropriate audience for it. That would be absolutely amazing. Um, do you know of Kappa Mikey? That sounds familiar, Justin. I'm not sure where from, but that I've heard that before somewhere. King of the Art, I want to start a channel similar to your content and any storytelling tips. Um, I'll give a really big tip right now. Uh, two things. I'm going to steal a line from Popcross Studios, so I apologize for anybody who's already heard this. There is a book you can get from iBooks, or you can get a digital copy. It's called, I think it's The Art of Character, and it tells you how to develop your characters for a story. The other thing I'd recommend, and it sounds really daft, 'cause it's more about video editing, but watch Hayden Smith has a video he just dropped. It was a live stream about 3 weeks ago, where he broke down his most popular video for Mr. Beast, which was it took him 2 months to do the video, but it was basically when Mr. Beast was curing blind people. He cured 1,000 blind people. He paid for their operation for them to get their sight back. Um, and he was saying stories the top part going through it. Now, the best storytelling tip is there's three key points. You've got the story, you've got rhythm, and you've got emotion. And you want to focus on emotion more for people to connect, but you want to keep the rhythm going so they're not on anything too long if you've got something visual with it, and you want to balance that with the story and swap between the three at the appropriate parts. But if you watch that video, he shows the footage and explains what he's doing with it. I think it's about an hour, 2 hours long, but I'd highly recommend that if you want to get into the storytelling. Those two resources. The other one is just picture yourself in the shoes of the character. So map the character out. Picture if you were this character, what would you do in that scenario? And then just build it up from there. And then with practice, things will become a lot more easier. Um, those are the best tips I can give you at the moment for the whole storytelling, because it is kind of a tricky one at times to figure that out. Um, and just if you can get behind the story, if you can feel the emotion of the story and get people to relate to it, then by all means go for it. Um, go for dude. If you want to take a picture of Loki, go for it for the Discord. Well, we all know you've got a whole channel dedicated to him on there. Um, go for with a railgun. Yeah. I already know what Discord I should start off with first. I'll be right. That's fine, Eamon Hart. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, never going to give you up. Kappa Mikey is a cartoon. I will check it out. The name is familiar, so I might, you know. Um, King of the you're my number one favorite YouTuber right now, then. Dempsey. Yeah. Thank you. I do appreciate that, and yes, it's nice to know that I'm someone's number one YouTuber. Thank you so much. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Uh. Something to one of the other bits that we've had on here. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. But also, if you're doing storytelling, sorry, another tip, you want contrasting characters. So you want, so with contrasting characters, you want to have it where you've got one personality clashing against the opposite type of personality, or they don't get along, and there's a development and they learn a lesson. Things people can relate to, and this is the reason why Spider-Man was so much of a hit when it first came out, is people could relate to the life of Peter Parker more than the superhero life of Spider-Man, where he was coming to terms with stuff and dealing with it as he was being a superhero. And it went like wildfire because they could relate to what's happening. So if you can get that connection, you're set. It's golden. Um, I quite like how this is starting to look on the head now. So let's just most of this is kind of in the dark area down here, so most of the symbiote won't actually be seen, which is quite cool. And I've done the tongue with that, so let's move down to the neck area so we can start adding. I'm gonna have that dark up to this point. I kind of want to, yeah, that looks quite nice. And this is obviously going to be in the dark as well, but there will be, because we've got some light here, I can add some lighter elements and then some more darker elements for kind of like the wing. And again, if you're doing some organic, you can kind of break up your straight lines for your shadows to be kind of more uh, weird and patchy, but it kind of adds to the effect, which is quite cool. We've got singing going on. Oh my God. But yes, please avoid the caps a little bit. But I do appreciate you guys bursted into song for whatever reason was going on there. Um, all right, just give me a second. I just need to check something. Okay, no, that's fine. That's still the same. That's cool. Cool. So I don't think I need that open anymore, which is quite cool. I'm just making the stream less chaotic. Look behind you, Dempsey. The respawn wrapper is behind you. Been about other competitive cereal brands. Oh, I tell you what, some of your ideas, Justin, and some of the ideas that you guys come up with, I really need to start jotting some of these down and making videos out of them. They are they're quite they're quite cool. I do like them. Right. Another tip, if you want another art tip, is when it's somewhat more a harder surface and more shinier. You want to add kind of like shadows broken up like this on the other side here. The reason being where I've added these bits is I can put the light around it and it will make it look like it's got a bit more of a shape, but more it's like a shiny, almost like a metal object, which is what you get with the harder shells and scales, which works really well. Works really well. I also need to think of another accent to learn. So put your suggestions in the chat. What accent should I try and learn next? I did an Irish one for our SCP narrator, and I've kind of got that done a little bit. Minecraft, I do appreciate that. Funny thing, Koi Fish has all caps in his name, and yet he is the caps police. Go figure. Yes, the reason he's got all caps in his name is because he was busted and he's doing his community service right now as the caps police on the channel. He's not allowed to change it until his sentence is up. To which I can imagine Koi is just laughing his head off now at that little story. I think that little story is worthy of go for dude. Chroma God lore. Oh, that was the wrong way around to what I was suspecting that to be. I kind of joined that all the wrong way around. That was not what I was expecting that to do. You need to pay a bit more attention to where I'm putting all these lines. Half caps, bro. What else we got? Russian, a Spanish accent. Oh, Spanish is really hard to do. I did Spanish at school and I never managed to get the R's right. Even with the Russian accent, I struggle with R's. But Russian, I have been trying to learn a little bit. I am not very good. In fact, DempseyJ Drawing does a much better Russian accent than I do. I might have to get him in to do some voices. Oh, yeah, not on stream. I mean about videos, but you know, we will see. Probably going to be told very abruptly after the stream ends. No. We'll see what happens. In fact, let's just make this a bit easy for you guys. So, you know, I'm working with the layers, and this interface will come back a bit, but I'll move the interface out of the way to make it a bit clearer. Um, American, Australian, or German? I tried German once and it sounded like a weird cross between German and French, jumping back and forth every 5 minutes in my um, Sonic characters as superheroes. Oh, I need to reboot that. Sonic characters as superheroes. I epically failed on my narration on that. Oh my God, that was just a yeah, that was cringeworthy. Um, Omen Hart says, day one of asking for narrators into the Foodverse community redraw part one, day one. I may just want to see Aaron Ford ride a blue fairy wolf Pegasus. Omen Hart, stick that on the comments on the live stream or the last redraw video, which is the if you go onto videos, drop it onto the one from uh either any of the two. Where in the multiverse, Escape the Hunt, or Where is Dino Dinoclaw? Because this month's redraws in two parts. So yeah. Uh, that sounds like something I would do. Which bit? The half caps or the whole community redraw riding a blueberry waffle Pegasus? Meme versus character as superheroes or anything on your channel I think would be funny. Yes, I do need to come up with a few things. I'm I'm probably going to either make or break my channel if I do a Skibidi Toilet short. It's either going to go really well or really bad. I am two minds at it. I've had a lot of support from other creators to say, go for it, go for it, go for it. And I've looked at it and I'm still like, I haven't got a clue how I'm going to pull this off if I do. I have to find the right balance. And I'm like, I don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it. It's weird. It works. It is funny. It is strange, but at the same time, it's like, what's going on here? Which will be interesting. Oh, I can add a bit more detail here. I mean, would you guys watch it if I made like the Skibidi Toilet song and did like drawing character heads in the toilets? I know it's the weirdest question I'm ever going to ask my community. Um, Aaron goes, "Hello, mate." Oh, I love it. Microsoft Russian. Love the orange is the new black. The Russian women love her accent. I will have to get a link from you or find me a link on Discord Minecraft and I'll check it out. So, if you've got an episode where you know that person doing the accent shows up, then yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I just need to need examples. I mean, that Irish accent I learned in like 12 hours, which I was really proud of. I learned it, started it 2 days before the video was due out, so I was really proud of that. Um, America doesn't really have one type of accent, it has multiple. Yes, it does have a wide range of accents. Again, somebody here can do better accents than me. But yes. But it's all about learning it and learning the differences. Although my Russian accent blends between Russian and Transylvanian, so it's a little bit weird. They're probably similar, that's why. Um, Minecraft says, I've got the Southern accent born in the I know how to pronounce that word, but I can't pronounce it at the moment. King of the Art says, I've got to go by Dempsey and everyone in the chat. Bye, King of the Art. Thank you for joining the stream, and we will catch you when you're next about. But thank you. And if you've got any questions or anything, just if you're on the Discord, drop them in the Discord. If you're on a video and you've got a question, drop it in the comments. And if I get a chance to, I'll reply or mention it in the next stream that you're in. Right, am I on that there yet? No, just on that. So that. So I want to add, this is going to have a little bit of a highlight, but it's not going to pick up the main light. So this is going to kind of be like this. And this is where I kind of make my own gradient in certain bits. So like with the Charizard Venomized I did, I'm trying to add a bit more. I managed to add so much detail into that one. I don't know what happened. I was just in the zone, but I'm trying to add somewhat more detail into this one to kind of make these seem like they work, if that makes sense. Kind of just make this stand out a bit. Yeah, the purple symbiote works really nicely. It was going to be orange, and technically speaking, I could swap it to orange at any point, but I'm not going to because I merged all the layers down. But no, it is actually, no, I probably could. Did I merge all the layers down? No, I could swap it to orange at any point if I wanted to. The way the layers are set up, which is really cool. It's nice to be able to just jump between them if you need to. And the nice thing is, if you don't have a selection, you can just emphasize the light on a certain area just to bring a bit more to it, like the head and the chest. So you've probably got more going to the chest, and you can follow the neck out to where it's going, which is really cool. A noise filter. I don't have a filter. I have a brush. So I took a. How did I do this? It was either a brush that I got from a set, or I took an existing brush, created a weird grainy texture, and dropped it into it to use. If that's what you mean by a noise filter for this kind of like grain effect. So I've got two filters on. I've got the noise brush on this layer, which creates that kind of like grunge effect. And then actually on the layer that I merged down in here, I have a venom texture, which is basically just a repeating patterned circular hexagon rosette type thing that I've dropped into. It's basically a half tone, to be honest, that I've dropped onto it, and that kind of works. Yeah, I got a nice brush. Look. Or do you mean actual noise? Because that was my noise brush used on that one on hard light. So do you mean like a stronger noise effect on it, or oh I've got oh you mean this? Hang on. So scale the noise up. But if I'm doing that, I expect I'm gonna have to do that on an actual layer that matters. Um, just duplicate the reference layer and do it on that. So if I had a noise filter on the reference layer and I scaled it up, I do, but it doesn't seem to be picking up. There we go. So yeah, I can add quite a fair bit of noise, the filter to it. I can. Oh wow, that's you may have just given me a completely brand new way of texturing something in a future video there. Um, we do have a noise filter. It does look quite cool. I will play with it, but I'm not using it for this just yet. But yeah, you may have just given me a really, really cool future way of doing something there. Uh, Animation says, by the way, Demp, so do you have any color theory tips for drawings? Yes. Um, I did it earlier with the color wheel, but if you've got a dark color like a black, add a bit of purple into the shading for the shadows, and add a bit of like a almost like a really bright turquoisey blue in there. Draw a line on it so you've got a bit of the opacity on a brush that kind of fades off from solid to faded. Take kind of like the half blended bit and use that for a gradient bit underneath on the flats, which works really well. Injustice Player Gaming, welcome to the stream. And you say you've probably been here a while, to be honest, behind the scenes, but have you heard about one of Marvel Games' Spider-Man Web of Shadows, where the story begins with symbiote's invasion threatening New York? It's up to Spider-Man with the help of several unlikely allies. I might have seen clips of that. Didn't know what the game was called, but that's about it. But that's quite an interesting storyline actually to start a game off with. Uh, you post a link in the Destroyer's member chat, Russian accent. Awesome. Thank you, Minecraft. So no more counting dollars, will be counting stars. Have you seen most of these? No, I haven't yet, Go for Dude. Um, it is on my list of potential things to see at some point, but currently I have not seen Rise of the Beasts. I kind of want to see it and then do a Transformer video, related video, but kind of missed that bandwagon. I was a bit busy around the time that was coming out. I believe that came out roughly around the time I went to YouTube in London, which is really cool. Nothing like a just plugging going to YouTube in London where I met some fellow creators. Oh, I'm on the wrong brush. There you go. That helps. Just add a bit of color into here. I quite like how this is turning out now. This is starting to really take shape. I do need to change my earpiece now. Okay, you guys hear me okay? You should be able to hear me okay, and probably a bit better now. I've just swapped the earpiece over. I'm just getting another drink. How long have we been going for? Um, I don't actually know how long we've been going for. Anybody know? Oh, 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. We've still got a bit of time. Who would win 10 billion lions or every non-legendary Pokemon? Every non-legendary Pokemon, they'll blast the lions to pieces. There's no going to wait about that. I'm afraid the lions won't stand a chance. Animations. As much as I'd love the lions to win, I can safely say I'm not entirely sure that will work quite how you're expecting it to be. That's starting to annoy me that. I think I need that on a little bit. I had a fan on in the background, cool the back of the laptop off a little bit while I was streaming, but it's starting to get a bit noisy than I was expecting it to. So just kind of killed the fan. Okay, that should get just a little bit of a reflection from there. That should potentially pick up a large reflection here. I'm trying to kind of picture where some of these bits are going. Let me know if the sound is still going or if it's cut out, guys. Um, it only needs one. Finally, someone who picked the right answer. What, me, the Lions, or Marin? Or did we all get the right answer? Kind of an interesting one, that. Oh, I do. I have to say, I do like how this is turning out. Double check the layers. Yeah, I need to find a way to see. The only problem with Procreate as a YouTuber is unless I do a normal stream like this and one illustration, when it's sped up, you get this whole. I'm going to just do it now quickly. You get this whole super flashy thing like that happening as stuff happens, and it's a bit glaring on the eyes. So unless I'm working on a small section like right over in like a small bit here on the screen, then it's going to cause a bit of a nightmare because unless I'm working on this small area here, you're going to get all the interface pop up, and I don't know how to do that and record the screen properly. So it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to find a way around it though, just for you guys to know. So I'm trying to make it so that the content's better for you without hitting the interface on a few things. The sound is a bit low. Hang on a minute. It did just complain about my earpiece being battery low, but just swap it back. Is that any better for you, Alan Animations? Hopefully it is. Pokemon's of the Mountain Lions. Depends on the Pokemon. Um, After chill stream, I finished coloring my community redraw Pokemon. Awesome. Would small cross-hatching work on the tail and legs? Possibly. It might. It just depends on what happens at that point. Oh, okay then. See you later, Marion. Thank you for joining the stream and for all that Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I will go back and check through it and have a look at that. But yeah, thank you for joining. I suppose it's probably getting late for a few people, depending where they are in the world. What progress? If you mean those big squares, I undid them because I was just showing a section where I might have to do it on something. Myron, if you're what is that Minecraft's comment? Minecraft is just saying goodbye and see you later. Right, so let's add some of these more organic-y shapes in here. I know we're going to get a bit more light on there, but I want this image to look like it's kind of crawling down the leg. And at the back, I can be a bit more solid in the rendering process of this, so I can make it look a bit more. That's the other trick to do on this, is to kind of get it where you've got what you want, but at the same time you're all the details and the bits. Oh, that's not a problem, Marion. I do appreciate you putting all the Five Nights at Freddy's lore in that I can go back and have a look at. It's always nice to have a reference point, so thank you. Alan Animations, I don't know what you're on about with Answer, you're giving me a heart attack. You're confusing me because you said did I lose my progress, but I didn't lose any progress on this. I had two things that I filled in to show rough area I might need to try and focus on doing all my artwork in on a video so that I can make it so there's no flickering of the interface every 5 seconds when I speed it up. But that was it, so I'm not sure what's going on. Captain Plant says, Dempsey, have you thought ever using Crocodile? It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I think it work as pretty much anything. I have thought about it before actually. Um, who lose the? Okay, okay, but did he really lose the progress? Right. Did who lose the progress? You need to take a step back. Right. I don't know what's going on, Alan Animations. You need to take a step back and to say who lost the progress on what. I don't understand the context. I appreciate you trying to find out, but I haven't got a clue. Oh, the noise layer. Oh, no, I didn't commit that. Oh, correct, unless he's talking about the noise layer. Right, that makes more sense. No, the noise layer was an experiment. I took that off. If at the end it looks right on a duplicate layer to add the noise, I will probably do that and merge it in and take bits out. But yeah, you kind of confused me because I didn't know the context. Thank you, Justin, for saying the context. I was like, wait, but that happened like 20, 30 minutes ago. What's going on? Evan Hart, I spread the word to one Discord so far, and right now I'm watching a Studio Ghibli movie. I can't pronounce it. I know what you mean. Um, those movies are awesome. Spirited Away is absolutely fantastic. But Omen Heart, I do appreciate that. Thank you. Uh, okay, it's a Studio Ghibli one. Yeah, Let's just guess it. I'm. You might be right, Justin. I kind of um. I don't know what the actual context was. That's why I'm confused. But it's not the end of the world. It's just when it gets confusing like that, it's like, I don't know. What do you want about? Tell me what you're on about. And then, yeah, we can sort that out. So I just need to know the context that you're on about, Alan Animations. And then, yeah, sorry if I seemed a little bit like I don't know what you're on about and probably infuriating you, but I didn't have a clue what you're on about. So, yeah. I am planning to watch the live action One Piece. That's it, Ghibli. Yeah, it's well, I try to say things. I know what it is, and if it wasn't written in front of me, I'd say it right. Um, but yeah, it's when you read a word, it just throws you, and you know how to say it, and you read it sometimes. You look at it, and you're like, how do I pronounce that? And you know how to pronounce it, but you can't. It's just it's a me thing. But yeah, I do want to see the One Piece live action. I'm not holding high hopes because the One Piece Bleach, sorry, the One Piece, the live action Bleach was okay, but it wasn't amazing. Oh God, I feel so dumb. I accidentally watched the video from an hour ago and was watching the vid in the past. Oh my God, that's not a problem. Animations. I didn't know the context you're on about. So when you said about, did I lose other process and stuff? I'm like, did he lose process? I'm like, wait, what? Well, my screen, I see it all fine. So I'm like. I don't know what's going on. What the context? We need the context. What's happening? Um, yeah, no, I just started the stream again for you so you can catch up. It's called Rewind and Fast Forward. Uh, I'll tell you what, that was quite funny. I just didn't know what was going on. Um, Justin says, now I kind of want to do a fan casting of live action future. Ah, that'd be amazing. Um, handpick these actors. Oh, that'd be awesome. As long as, yeah, because the Bleach one. It wasn't the fact that the actors weren't good. The actors were really good for the story bit. Problem was, it was the starting bit of Bleach from the comics, but as with some things when they do live action, like Full Metal Alchemist, when they did that live action, there's a tendency to either skip parts or put too much into it. The Bleach movie, the Bleach live action should have been two-parter. It should have actually been in that movie split into two parts to show the proper fight scenes and everything better, and or they should have had that out with a to be continued in another one. It felt too crammed together and lacking some core bits that made the comic and the series what they were. Um, which was a shame because Bleach is a really good anime. Some of the filler arcs aren't great, but some of them are actually incredible. So it is a really good series. It's just yeah, there's a whole debate as well, because technically Ichigo died when the his chain of fate got separated from him when he was learning to be Shigame at the start, uh, which leads to the question. He's in one of those fake bodies, but spoiler alert, everybody, so you can mute me about now, okay? Um, but the end of the comic series shows he's got a child. But it's a fake body. How can a fake body have a child? I mean, those fake bodies can be chucked out of things and have super jumping things and that. I get it. But I just didn't think they could have kids and reproduce. Oh no! How have I got. How am I getting a green screen? It's back. I know. Just. I was like. It was fine. It's just come back for no reason. There's no reason for a green screen. but it's overheating a bit. But are we back? Are we good? Let's continue. Yes, Goku returns and the green screen returns. I think it's a conspiracy by Loki. Not saying it's definite, but I'm going to have a word with Nexum and find out. Captain Plant, feel free to stay as long as you want to. If you are absolutely tired and knackered and need to go, it's not a problem. The stream's still going to be here when you wake up for you to watch the last bits where you got to. If you pause it on your screen now, or yeah, just when you get a chance to watch it, if you want to, it's not a problem. Do appreciate it. But I also appreciate the fact that it is kind of late. It's like midnight here, and I have been going for nearly just under 3 hours, so quite a long time. My animation says my problem with live action was the look of the characters looked a bit uncanny. Mm, yeah, but the problem with live action is sometimes they will look a bit uncanny. There's not a lot you can do about it um, on some aspects of them, which is a bit of a shame, really. So I wanted the most detail to be in kind of like around the head and kind of just areas where you might have more shine happening due to where the light's hitting from that area. And just a little bit of light up in the dark bit there. I love the way the tail kind of starts looking like a camouflage effect. But that should be enough to kind of bring you back, hopefully. So now to the wings. How are we going to do this? Captain Planet. No, the green screen. I don't know what it was. I put the fan on. It could have been the laptop heating up by the where the cable is, and the fan that I turned off is back on, is working. It could have been just the connection taking out and putting back in. It was just lagging for some reason, um, which is a bit annoying. But yes, green screen came back. Uh, if I'm listening to any version of the Power Rangers theme song from the Mighty Morphin era, I'm listening to the movie version because that's so epic. That was quite cool. Still like the original though, the very first original Morphin Power Rangers. Have you seen the meme going around where they found this like this like yellowy golden tube sticking out of the sand, and it's like everybody from the 80s is like the 80s or 90s. Sorry, everyone from the 90s or the early 2000s. It's like me and the lads, and just got the whole Mega Force range of Power Rangers, like every single one, like walking with it. It's quite a cool idea, but yes. By the way, did you know Charizard was only 5'4", aka centimeters? They made him bigger in Detective Pikachu movie. Yeah. Yeah, but he's bigger than Ash, so Ash has got to be like a little shrimp. Because he's huge compared to Ash in the actual cartoon as well, though, isn't he? Or am I just remembering things wrong and I'm just making a complete fool of myself in front of all of you Pokemon experts? Which is highly plausible, in all fairness. I'm a YouTuber. I'm making a fool of myself every day of the week just by doing cringy voices with terrible accents. That kind of looks quite cool. Actually, would that have a bit more of a... I kind of feel there'll be a bit more of a shadow up to about here. Kind of like that. And then this would have a bit more of a extra line here. Yeah, kind of like that. Or maybe everyone in Detective Pikachu is a dwarf. The hobbits. So this is what happens. They chucked the ring into the volcano and Sauron shrunk everybody, all to the size of hobbits. So all the creatures became bigger. Charizard actually isn't 5'4". Charizard just is like a salamander, like a really tiny salamander. Everybody's been shrunk to 2 inches in size instead. So he looks humongous. That wouldn't actually be a bad storyline in a film. Honey, I shrunk the Pokemon trainers. Mhm. Oh, honey, I blew up the Pokemon. If anybody knows what I'm referencing, it's an old set of movies, which was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, then Honey, we Shrunk Ourselves, then Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. Whereas Toddler became like a 50-foot giant baby walking around downtown Las Vegas. And the first one, he shrunk his kids, and they had to get through the garden, the living room, and everything, and it's just like fight their way back in without getting taken out by ants and stuff. It was a really, really good film. Some of these older films was amazing, and it's a shame that with all the special effects and that you get nowadays, the stories don't hold together. And now I'm older, I can see where the stories were amazing that I didn't understand as a kid, and that's kind of like sad. That's kind of like missing in a lot of things nowadays. What do you mean not everyone can be the size of Warlord? Warlord's only like 2 meters. It's a balloon. It's full of hot air. Right. I am tempted to do these bits without super detail because of where they are. So I'm attempting to kind of just add the bits we need where we need them on this to kind of complete the look. I also feel this bit's going to be kind of suppressed to be darker. Yeah, that looks a bit right. I can add that a little bit around the top there, right there, bit there and a bit there, tiny bit around there. This is going to pick up a little bit more of a highlight along with this kind of line here. Let's just drop those in for a minute. Yeah, this is starting to look quite cool actually. Okay, so that's that part done. Now we need a background. So, what have we got for other backgrounds? What do we do on that one? Can I cheat? Doot, doot, doot. If you didn't know you could do this, this is an amazing trick in Procreate. You can steal the layers from another file. Just got to remember what their layer options were. And they will go in reverse, so you just need to drop this over the top. And then make that background probably darker. Give us that effect. That, and I want to enlargen them. Who said volcano? Never mind. I can add a volcano. I was just experimenting with dropping a background onto it. We're not even near finished yet because you know what? I just wanted a background to make this stand out. Cool, we can do 3 layers. Because one thing I love doing when I venomize stuff now. Minecraft Transformers, what color is his saliva? So, Minecraft Transformers, what color is his saliva? What color do you want it to be? We've got a really like bluish color. I could add in orange. Your choice, Minecraft. Let us know. I could even do green, fire red. Ooh, okay. So we will start with a yellow color then. This will work. So we'll start with a yellow color here. And we will make it go. Okay, 2 Pokemon Truce and a lie. Yeah, go on then. Let's try Pokemon Truce and a lie. Be interesting to see what people come up with. I won't know any of this, so this will be interesting. Oh, I had something planned for a symbiote chest pattern, but I didn't really do the right design for it. That's fine. I'll plan it for another video. It's a really cool symbiote thing I had planned I was going to try, but I completely forgot about it. That's not a problem because he already looks like a complete and utter insane Pokemon. I don't like that. That did not look how I was hoping it would go. Gengar hides in shadows, waiting for someone to entertain or possess. It's said that Gengar's laugh can be heard echoing in the moonless night. Drifloon, a balloon-like Pokémon, lures away children it kidnaps, taking them to an endless journey to the afterlife. Chandler absorbs the spirits of Pokémon. Drifloon's the lie, I think. That's my opinion. I don't think Drifloon kidnaps kids. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I know they've got some dark things in Pokemon, but I don't think they have Pokemon kidnapping the kids. There'd be a bit of a problem there. What? The Chandler absorbs the spirits of people and Pokemon using their life force as fuel to burn since their fame. It's free. Really? So Drifloon kidnaps kids? What? No, it can't be. Right, so now you've got this. Minecraft, you wanted fire red, you're going to get fire red by the time I'm done with this. Um, Alpha Lot the Lair. I might have to do pink to make it more the fire red. And then pick a red and go right to the top and just add a bit of the red into that. And a bit more of the yellow back in just to cover some of the yellow. And then we will duplicate and duplicate because I love this effect. It's my go-to symbiote. It's the Lyra effect. Uh, yeah, I love that bit. Okay, so we didn't want that background. We wanted a volcano background, so I adjust the thing to steel. Um, uh, I've decided. Okay, you guys can probably hear me now, but you'll also be able to hear a fan in the background. I can't do much about it. I'm going to move it a little bit. Can you guys hear me okay? Um, I am stealing this background that I did. Okay, let's find that. And Benton Tiger out the way. Pokemon. Pokemon. Dropmon. Um, to be honest, I have yet to show any of my current art. My art has improved during the past year, but I have yet to show it. When you're ready to show it, that's the time to literally show it. But I would look forward to seeing how your art has developed over the last year. Right, there we go. That's our Kinnery background. What do you reckon? Nice quick cheat for it. I will need to do small changes to this though. So that works for that. I need to add a maybe a bright pink rim light will work. I mean, I know they've got some really dark stuff in the Pokedex, but oh my god, I never thought that'd be the case. Okay, so this is just the final bits to add. I wish there was a quicker way of doing this one, to be honest, on this bit, just because this bit can take a little bit of time, but it's not going to be on everything. Just let me get that onto the right layer. That's better. So just add a few bits here and there. It's not going to be on everything. Usually it should just be on all the darkest shadows, but there's some areas that just need the few bits to accentuate the design. Yeah, I think this is
Not bad for about 3 hours worth of work. I mean, I know I'm venomizing Pokemon. It's probably not the hardest thing in the world to do, but it is quite cool to do the reasonably detailed design within like 3 hours for this is really, really nice. But it's also a case of I'm not doing all before I do all of the like line sections and stuff, but I don't need to. It doesn't need it on everything. It just needs it on the bits that would be potentially classed as the darkest areas that could pick it up. So yeah, it does work. It's just making sure your design ties in nicely. I know I've stolen the background from our crystalline uh, destroyer, but it just works. Cuban wears the skull of its deceased mother versus a helmet, which grants it strength. Slowpoke's tell us so dishes that it's often targeted by hungry predators. Jinx appearance is based on the MS supernatural from the Japanese folklore. Slowpoke is the one that I'm going with. I'm guessing here. I think the Slowpoke one because the did you know Cubone is a Charizard? It's free again. Well, Cubone's a Charizard, so one is wrong. Oh, sorry, Cubone's a Charmander, not a Charizard. I will correct myself there. You tell me it's not. Go on, someone tell me Cubone is not a Charmander. I dares you. Yeah, it is. You take the skull on the Cubone from its dead mother, and it is a Charmander. It's a Charmander that's flame went out, and therefore the mother died protecting it, or died raising it. Its flame went out because the mother couldn't protect the flame because the mothers of the Charizards, the Charizards protect the flames of the Charmanders, and then it uses the skull as a helmet to give it the strength to fight on. It is. If you look at the skull on a Cubone, it's the same as a Charizard skull. There's a whole fan theory about it. So I'm going to believe the fan theory. Um, I want to make this kind of dark. It's not take away from the. Ooh, nighttime. I'll continue feeling. I think what I want to do. Oh, because that's on a reference layer. Hang on, let's take reference off. That's better. Oh, wow. Wow. I don't know what I've just done. This is looking awesome. Give me a second, guys. I don't actually know what I have just managed to do. This is kind of cool. This is potentially this is like big. How did I do? So favorite line. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can make that. Cubone wears the seasonal skull as a helmet, and the horn on the skull of its mob distinguishes it. As mob distinguishes it. This is unlike Charizard, which does not have this horn. Yes, that's what they say, but if you look at the skull of a Charizard and you look at some of the Cubone designs, they match. So I have a question. How much danger would the multiverse that the narrators inhabit be if False didn't exist to capture symbiotes? Would it end up like the multiversal story arc? Um, Potentially, it depends because it depends on the symbiotes and what they're like in that universe. But that's quite an interesting one. Um, right, have I actually done anything that's changed that then? Yeah, I think I like this so far, but it needs to be blue. It needs to be cooler than the back. So that's quite cool. And we've got a warm background, which is fine. You know what? I think we'll leave it at this. This is the final image we're going to do tonight. On this one, I quite enjoyed doing this stream, and it came out really well for this design. So I'm really loving it. I'm going to update the thumbnail probably by tomorrow. To have this. Actually, no, I'll leave the thumbnail on there. But this is a rather cool version, and I'll post this on the I'll actually post this one a bit later on. But here's our venomized Salamence changing with its lovely tongue with its saliva and like the fiery effect going out, and slowly changing into like this really razor claw tie version. So yeah, Minecraft Transformers. I hope you love how this one turned out. As promised, Venomized Salamence, which is really cool and really fun to work on. And yeah, I think we'll call that a night. I'll give it a minute or two in case anyone's got any questions while we're playing catch up. Other than that, it'll be a case of yeah, sorting the stream out and finding out where my mouse is gone. Where is the mouse? Oh, there it is. I turned the mouse on. I couldn't find it. I appreciate that, Minecraft Transformers. I'm glad you like how it came out. And I quite enjoyed Alan Animation's little Pokemon Q&A. Cubone and Charizard are unequivocally separate taxia within the Pokemon genus. Distinguished by evident oh, is distinguished by evident morphological and phenological differences. Cubone characteristics by its cranium donned with a Bye, Maureen. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming back again. Glad you can see the final result. Now you get some sleep. I'm going to do the same in a minute as well. But I do appreciate you coming back to the stream. And I'll give Animations a minute to drop that in before we call it a day on this one. Ooh. That said, oh, that's better. You never drink whatever's left in there before I call it a night. I'll start proper animations. I might not get to it until the morning, but uh, yes, I will check Discord in a minute because there's been a submission or two in there anyway, possibly. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining the stream. I do appreciate it. and I hope you like how the final artwork came out. We shall debate on this. Oh, I need my sleep first. I will debate on this tomorrow with you. I will find whatever was going on. But I did say it was a fan theory and I did like it. But yeah. And thank you for joining everybody. I'm going to say good night and I'll see you next time.